Talk Radio, 610 WIOD presents The Neil Rogers Show. To get in touch and talk with Neil, dial 751 WIOD from Dave. In Broward, it's 524 WIOD. Outside the 305 area code, toll free 1-800-944-WIOD. And Bell South Mobility customers make a free call by dialing star IOD. The opinions expressed by the guests, hosts, or callers are not necessarily those of this station. Now, here's Neil Rogers on News Talk Radio, 610 WIOD.
Hi, this is Sonny Fox. I listen to Neil Rogers because I can hear the word asshole.
1206 at WIOD.
A broadcasting legend is gone. There will never be another Neil Rogers. Rick Riley.
That was one of the best times in radio of any place in the country.
Yes, it was.
And people all over the country were looking at us, and we had huge numbers and wondering, what are these guys doing? And
nowhere else
what is
in
going
the country
on there?
was an AM station, kicking FM stations' asses with little to no promotion. It was a really unique thing that was going on in those
Jennifer Rem.
I had a great deal of respect for what he did on the air. Mm-hmm. He really was an individual who could talk about issues so knowledgeably. Radio hasn't been the same without him.
Chuck Meyer.
I always knew that Neil liked me, respected my work, and if I was to become fair game for him on a given day, that was okay by me. We wore those things as badges of honor.
Bob Green.
Neil was everything that everybody said he is. He was the most talented person that I ever had the privilege of working with.
Phil Hendry.
Bob Brit had hired me to this station that was unlike any other I'd worked at. It was an entertainment-driven talk station, and I knew that Neil was really good and just everything that you said. Really critical, hypercritical, hyper funny about. I think people love that about him. I still remember his Tony Segreto line, that suspender-snapping douchebag. Neil was so great, and he had one of the greatest talents in the world, and that was to be angry and funny at the same time.
Sure.
I've never heard it do it as well, and that's because that's who he was.
Dave Caprita.
As you guys know, there's never was, is, or will be another Neil.
Randy Rhodes.
We said, let's raise a glass to Neil, because if it wasn't for him, none of our lives would have been possible. And so we start telling little stories about Neil and what we remember, and, we start singing That's Just Great Radio, and all of a sudden we clink our glasses, and this wind, this ice-cold wind, just blows through, and all the candles start flickering, and then it stops. We clink, and then it stops. And I went, oh, my God. Now, I know he's an atheist, and I know, he was, devoutly atheist, but he knew something, because I'm telling you, that was him. And he was probably going, you still look like a burnt out Stevie.
His legacy lives on. Relive and celebrate Neil Rogers with George Rodriguez, Boca, and the rest of the Neil Rogers alumni on SoFloRadio.com.
Neil wakes me up in the morning. And then I tuck my pee-pee inside. Wearing my skin suit, punching on a gonad with few a.m. on my dial. Mommy, carefully placing my lotion in the basket. Neil makes me all nipperluckerless. Neil, and George. Neil, and
George. 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 WIOD.
Oh, Neil, God.
Boy.
Neil, God.
Neil, God.
power than El Presidente, man. Yeah. I'm the most powerful goddamn man in the world.
Yeah. Yes, I am.
Neil God. More power than El Presidente, man. Yeah. I'm the most powerful goddamn man in the world.
Absolutely correct.
Burgers are made out of people.
No.
It takes forever to get that taste and smell out of your system.
While 86% of newborn boys in this country are circumcised, the procedure is widely performed without any sort of anesthesia.
I have no preview.
I'm dying over here.
Neil God.
Neil God.
I feel myself. Neil God.
Neil God.
I feel myself.
I will not patronize Blockbuster or any other company that perpetuates this kind of behavior.
You jackass.
Yeah.
You turd.
It's me again. He's an ojo provocateur.
I
don't have a bone spot.
Big Heil, eh?
Tengo mucho pellejo en la punta.
I know that the Lord even loves Neil Rogers.
Father O'Toole. God.
Neil God.
Sister Mary Catherine. Jesus.
Neil God.
Just lick him.
How's that hand job coming along, John?
You have no penis.
I don't do my job as well when I'm constipated. That is great radio.
I am that hemorrhoid. Don't we have a longer cord than this piece of crap? Look at this. Look how short this damn thing is. I'm going to take this cord and I'm going to shove it right up his ass, okay?
Oh, Neil. God.
This place operates like a freaking nut house. It really does. I want to be left the freak alone, okay?
And a man in my position can't afford to be made to look ridiculous.
Neil God. Neil God. Oh, gee, that's their face. Oh, they're doing that crap again out there? God damn it.
Neil God.
Neil God. More power than El Presidente, man. Yeah. I'm the most powerful goddamn man in the world.
Absolutely correct, sir.
Oh, give me time to get my headphones on. How much? I mean, there's only 8 minutes. Welcome to the show, everybody. The George Rodriguez Holiday Neil Tribute Show featuring Boca, Brit, and Suds, who will be along at some point, and threatening to call in is KJ
and Duff
and Duff, because he has a gig today, and maybe other people will call in, maybe not. I didn't spend a lot of time on the 4-year tribute show to get people to call in because I want to kind of save up for the 5-year show next year and maybe get the studio full of some people. Maybe get some people in town. Well, some people that already are in town. Maybe some people that will want to come to town this time of year because it's beautiful. And if I'm wearing a parka, only in Florida, do you have to wear take all your warm weather clothes indoors? Indoors. I'm carrying all this. I'm carrying the flannel shirt around and the windbreaker to come into the studio today. And I have a candle. I'm just going to say that we're having a candlelight vigil. You know, this is the candle that we light for Neil. You know, like that very ghoulish Alan Michaels that might call in.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, Alan, I'm wearing pants
He still doesn't understand how it is that he's a ghoul, but maybe we'll explain that again today. But I thought this is the candle vigil as we look at the Neil picture, the Neil and George picture over there on the opposite side of the room. But the truth be told, I need to use this as a hand warmer in the studio over here, where they have no heat in this building. It's okay. It's an old building.
Why would they?
How kitschy, how cute, right? But they have plenty of cold. All over the summer, we had to fight for them to turn the AC on.
Right.
We were sweltering in here. We were schwitzing. And then finally they turned it on, and now it can't be turned off.
Why is it turning on anyway?
By the way, the thermostat. There's the thermostat. I have it set in the off position. Now, do you think the thermostat is paying any attention to me or the switch or anything? It's not. It's just blowing cold air. And, of course, as luck would have it, and this goes back to Neil, the Neil Rogers Show, the vent is blowing right on me, as it always was in every studio we were ever in. The only difference is I haven't climbed up, like every other studio that I was ever in, I haven't climbed up to the ceiling there and stuck record albums, in the vent to protect myself.
From what?
From the cold. From the cold air. It would always...
I thought you meant maybe the lung.
Yeah. Neil would always have the thermostat in his room. It wasn't like his idea. It's just the way that it was. The talk studio was always larger and more important, I guess, than wherever the producer sat, in the control room.
I don't mind the cold. Maybe it's just me.
It's blowing right on me. Trust me. There's a breeze over here. It's a huge difference, but nevertheless.
65 degrees. That's hoodie weather?
No, with this,
No,
with
no,
the,
I mean,
with the
I've-
AC vent blowing
I've
on me.
seen this
No,
on-
outside.
it's
No,
ridiculous.
I wasn't wearing this one.
Not you,
I
I'm-
carried this. Oh, with the Floridians, that's okay.
I mean,
hey,
Jesus Christ.
the Floridians. If it drops below 70, time to break out the wool.
Woolen undies.
Sure.
I was just. I got.
And the long johns.
It was 40 degrees when I was in New York a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, well,
and,
that's okay.
So you put on a coat.
Yeah, no, you can have the cold. I went to North Carolina last year for Thanksgiving, not this year, the previous year, and it was cold. Surprise.
Yeah.
And I'm done. I'm good. It was a pain in the ass having to stoke that fire.
Now Suds, who really enjoys the heat, he was
yeah.
in Philly
Well, he
not too long
he
ago.
might have to wear a hoodie, a Unabomber style hoodie
I'd like to see what kind of
when he comes
garb
in
he
here.
has.
Or who's more famous for wearing a hoodie now, the Unabomber or the kid that got shot?
Oh,
you know,
that eclipsed,
the kid that got
the
Zimmerman.
Unabomber.
Yeah, because the Unabomber,
yeah.
that was the only picture we had of him for the longest time. Was that pencil sketch with the sunglasses,
Yeah.
and which would make for a nice T-shirt now. Because understand something, even though that's the picture that represents the Unabomber, that's not the Unabomber. That's some artist's rendering of the Unabomber, and it's kind of it's a neat looking picture.
Well,
What do you
it's
think?
funny how when the Unabomber picture went out, no one related that to black crime.
No,
Huh?
No,
Like,
why?
Like the
why would
Trayvon
they?
Martin
He's
thing,
not-
remember?
Sure.
Anybody wearing a hoodie is a black thug.
Is a thug,
But
sure.
they didn't say that with what's his name again?
With Ted Kaczynski.
Ted Kaczynski. yeah.
Teddy,
that
well,
was
play
okay.
that bit. Play the Unabomber. Ted Kaczynski, King of the Wild Frontier. Well, that's how it is. We've been talking about prejudice on the other shows, not just my own show, but the other shows that I produce. Because we have Jack who's here most of the time, so we get to explore his perspective as a young black man, and then we get we have Mark Anoff. Shout out to Mark, who is sitting in on a lot of shows these days. Learning SoFlo radio from the inside out, and he proclaims to be prejudiced. He proclaims to be a bigot, but I think maybe he's less so than he has. So we've been talking about prejudice a lot, and that's one of the things that people don't consider when a generic, and I call it a generican because using the word white confuses people because some people don't consider Spics white, even though some of us are, and some of us are black, and some of us are Jewish,
They're
and
the
some
Browns,
of us are
right?
Asians. Well, that's what they would like to consider, but then of course the Browns, whether it's a Hispanic or in America, the Browns are the mixed. We have them in both cultures. In America, you have mulattoes. Right, you have biracial people, and we do in the Hispanic countries also. We have monoracial, biracial, everything in between, just like any other colony, assholes. But I call them the genericans. The genericans are the people that pretend that they have no ethnicity other than American, as if their ancestors didn't come from anywhere. The people that say, oh, if you have to have a hyphen, it's like, well, you have a hyphen, whether you choose to use it or not, that's up to you. But I noticed that whenever there's a parade, the St. Patty's Day parade or the Italian Pride Festival or the Polish American club meeting, I noticed that you bring that hyphen out as it suits you.
Mm-hmm.
But then if somebody else, you're a Latin American, that's not a real American.
Not like Irish.
Not like Irish American or
Yeah.
Italian American or Jewish American or anything like that. We all come from somewhere else over here in America, unless, of course, you're a Native American, and that's a hyphen, too.
Yeah. German Irish, by the way.
You my Krautmik friend?
Exactly.
Yes. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna accidentally drink this candle. It's over here where I normally keep my drink.
You ever notice like it's the biggest races that are German and Irish?
Well, that's because they're the whitest of the people.
So
they're the whitest. So, but I call them the genericans are the people that like to pretend that they don't have an ethnicity, and they're the ones that are guiltiest of being prejudiced, and it's true. It's what you said. When a generican commits a crime, all the other genericans don't go, oh, look at what that white person did.
Yeah.
Oh, look at what that American did. Oh, these Americans, when are they going to stop being so bad? Oh, look at what those Americans. They don't say that. They don't equate it or attribute it to the subgroup that person is a part of, if it's one of their own. But if it's somebody else's group committing a crime, oh, look at them Spics, look at them spooks.
I'm glad I ain't one of them.
Yeah. How many categories can you check off? Well, you're semi-Jewish.
Semi-Jewish,
because your
Sicilian.
dad was Jewish, so that doesn't really count.
No, my mom was Jewish. My dad was.
Oh, your mom was Jewish.
German Catholic.
You're not Jewish. You're Jewesque.
I'm a non-observant something.
Jewish-ish.
Whatever it is.
And then, of course, all of those wonderful adjectives. that we get to apply. And every subgroup has different subgroups within the subgroups that are all in fighting, slap fighting with each other. Right.
Let me ask you though: would you say I'm crazy with this theory?
Well, I was just supposed to say you're crazy.
That the sudden explosion, other than that,
yeah,
the sudden explosion of racial violence with the cops.
Yeah.
Now, in their police car, in their patrol cars, what do they got on the dashboard?
A computer,
an AM radio.
Oh, maybe not.
They can't listen to the computer; they'll get in trouble.
You
they
think
can't
they're
listen to their
listening to
phone.
Rush all day long?
Yeah. What else is there to listen
ratchet
to?
It up. Well, here's my theory on the matter, and I don't believe it's any more racial than it has been. I think that we're just better at catching it on our cell phone cameras now, and people are getting more and more outraged. And you got people, the cops are, you know, if I posted all of the stories that come across my Facebook feed, because of the friends posting cop violence stories, that's all it would be. My Facebook feed would just news feed for my personal page would just be this constant scrolling of cops beating up people videos. Yeah. You can just go on YouTube and put in, you know, police brutality or cop beating. Just put cop beating and then don't put anything else, and you'll see cop beating mom, cop beating dad, cop beating the kids, cop beating the dog. Just entry after entry after entry that people shot on their cell phone.
You know, it's funny you bring that up because you remember when Neil got busted back in '91.
Yes. Well, you remember the year. I don't.
It was, I think it was September, October '91. Anyway, after that happened, I came out with a rash of police bits. And so I just unearthed a whole bunch. By the way, for the audience.
Good. Oh, yeah, let's play a lot of police bits today. Because we do want to be trendy. It is a live show, and I get a lot of crap for posting the police things. I have cop apologists that call me a cop hater. You know, and Jon Stewart summed it up. You can't miss The Daily Show. If you want to get real news, real funny, watch The Daily Show. And you know, you saw the recent one where, you know, he's being attacked on Fox. I think it's very funny, and this is something for us to discuss next time you're in the studio, Mark. I find it very funny because both parties are liars, if you ask me. Both the evil party and the pretends to be good party, they're both serving the same master, and they're both scummy liars. Only Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, those are the only people that you can count on hearing the truth from. Alan Grayson, people like that. Mm-hmm. But the people that are supposed to be small government get awfully excited about big police and the militarization of police, and they're the ones that defend these asshole cops when they get busted beaten on somebody. I thought these were supposed to be the small government people. I thought these were supposed to be the people that like to run around and warn you about how the goose-stepping Gestapo Nazis, led by Obama, are going to bust your door down and drag you out of there kicking and screaming and violate all of your rights and your Fourth Amendment rights and your Second Amendment rights. They're going to bust your door down to take your gun, the Gestapo, the goons. And so when we see, and the Daily Show brought this up too, when we see them do just that, and people are all outraged and protesting it, the right-wingers, the Republicans, are these people are just cop haters. These people are just cop haters. What about all the good cops? And you know, they're the ones that are defending this thing that they're supposed to be all against. So I find that curious. A point to ponder. I send that out there to Mark, who's listening right now. He's our monitor. Our station monitor lizard.
Is he coming?
Well, I don't know. I listen. I neglected because I was dealing with things like the server being down for 2 days now. Mm-hmm. It just everything was back up this morning. The email and the server, and that's why I posted the alternative Just Listen live link. We're still streaming on all channels. Just the website, our interface. You know, the thing that people use to pay bills with. They hit that donate button. That was down for 2 days.
Well, getting back to what I was saying, I took a bucket of old cassette tapes and dumped it upside down.
Oh, okay.
And I found stuff that I forgot I did.
Wow.
So for this show especially, and a lot of them were cop violence bits.
Right. How trendy.
I mean, some of them are right on target, and they're what? 91 was what?
You were ahead of your time. Well, this is something that's been going on for a long time, and this is one of those areas where the pendulum swings. You know, we had that Kent State thing. And everything, and then things were kind of calm for a while. Everybody backed off. The cops backed off.
After Rodney King,
they calmed down. They calmed down a little bit when that video came out. But now they're back at it again, and they're in impunity. And what gets me the most is, and I posted something not too long ago. It is your right to videotape the police in action in every state in the union. It is your absolute right. And I think the cop cam is a great idea. Saw that on RoboCop. It goes both ways. People lie both ways. By the way,
still, if a grand jury says it's okay, what good is it?
I'm not at exactly. Well, that's a separate problem. That's that grand jury. There's another problem that needs to be addressed. But when there's a camera at play, it really gets rid of the whole he said, she said. What people do with that evidence, those are fuckheads. I'm sorry. That grand jury. Eric Garner.
Absolutely.
Choked out right there, begging for his life. For, again, allegedly, and this is the argument, because I get people like, oh, he was selling illegal cigarettes. All right.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, last time I checked, that's not punishable by death in America. But
it is in New
York. Let us just say that's right. We got to get those cigarette tax dollars. That cop probably worked for the tobacco industry.
You better not light up over in New York. They will kill you.
They
will
kill
that.
You. Yeah. They'll kill you.
Not even in the parks.
But I find it surprising that I have to explain to people that we live in a nation where we have checks and balances and we hire the police to arrest people, but then we have a trial for them. I have to remind them that before the Revolutionary War, that the British troops were allowed to, and that was the police in that time, the British troops were allowed to do whatever they wanted to whoever they wanted. They were allowed to bust into your house and look for things that they didn't like. They were allowed to bust into your house and stay there, like sleep.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was quite common. That's why George Washington slept everywhere.
Beat or shoot anyone they saw for any or no reason. And we decided when we established a new nation in the wake of the Revolutionary War that the people that we have out there patrolling don't have the power to punish. They only have the power to arrest, to detain. And we give them militaria, we give them weaponry so that they can defend themselves against violence if their attempt to arrest or detain someone is met with violence. Not choke someone who's standing there with his arms up saying, stop, don't leave me alone,
That was a real easy perp walk to the car and it would have been over.
Sure.
But it was just rage, and I still attribute it to AM radio.
Well, we can start that rumor.
I don't know.
Rush Limbaugh is responsible for all of the racially
No, it's not just
related.
that. I mean, you got the Alex Jones, although I don't know if he's being carried by any. You got Mike Weiner on the West Coast.
Oh, you're way more up to date than I am.
Mike Weiner.
I don't listen to these
otherwise
things.
known as Savage.
These are on the radio.
Anybody who says they hate this, that, listen, there's a guy I know, I'm not going to mention his name, but he does a local hate talk show here. One of the sweetest guys you'd ever meet.
Why don't you want to
mention his name? But when he goes on the air,
hate.
I'm not going to mention Rich Stevens by name, but anyway, he's a very nice guy. And when he goes on the air, it's the blacks, it's the this.
I mentioned lately how much I love gypsies.
Gypsies?
Yeah, man. Love them gypsies.
What do you share?
Huh? Yeah.
Okay.
Gypsies, tramps, and thieves. No, just love them. What a difference a year makes. Love them, love them, love them. On a non-related note, make sure to listen to the Kingdom of God Hour Saturday night, 10 to 11:30.
I'll tune in.
Here.
It's my favorite.
It's a very well-produced show. Saying that because it's produced by me. Under normal circumstances.
It'll get you laid.
Except for last week. Suds is going to be here. We're going to be, reminiscing stories, but we got to do the current events. Because and I guess John Baker and the other Neil fans doing a masterful job archiving with the archives and the recordings. All of the episodes, the Neil Rogers Show episodes, are on YouTube. I do want to play them here in the afternoon. The only thing that's stopping me from doing that is figuring out how to automate it in a way that is good. Because the shows, and I really appreciate the work that these guys did. They edited out the commercials, but the shows are in different lengths, different chunks, and I want to be able to play them. But the problem with the automation is the automation doesn't know to pick up where it left off like the following day. So let's say that in the 3 or 4 hours of allocated time that I'm playing the best of Neil Rogers, let's call it that, in the afternoon, hypothetically speaking.
We just got.
Let's say that who?
Duff will be calling in after he's done eating. So
we don't want to interrupt anything.
No.
So. So let's say that there's an hour-long segment being played at the end of the time slot on Monday, and it cuts out halfway there. I want to be able to pick it up where it left off. I don't want to just slough all of that material. Mm-hmm. And some of the segments are like 2 and 3 hours long. It just depends on how they edited these files up. So the automation system, because we don't have unless it's a live show, we don't have a live board up here at SoFlo Radio. Try to keep things streamlined. So I got to figure out how to do it. And then,
and who is our favorite board up?
I can play shows in the afternoon, but here's another thing. Me? Oh, no. It was
Carlos.
Oh, yeah. Well, please.
Hola.
Speaking of memories, what a memory.
Memory of Carlos.
What a memory that is.
Freddie
So the good news is, hey, I got in touch with Pharrell. I could have got.
Is Scott calling in?
No, he was trying to call in on my birthday, but he didn't.
Oh, that was a great song he did, by the way. Oh, sorry.
But we had an exchange on Facebook. He's still out there. I understand he's sober now.
Is he?
Like, yeah, which
he's probably
means,
not as entertaining.
Which
then.
means a lot. Yeah, I'm thinking he's probably really lame at a party anymore.
This is Scott Pharrell, and I'm sober now. And I'm no longer funny.
He just talks like this now.
Does he really?
No, I have no idea. He does a sports show.
Oh.
He does a sports show
Scott
on satellite,
Pharrell
so there's
sports.
2 reasons I don't listen. All right.
Here.
He does a sports
Here's
show
an
on
inside
Sirius.
joke. Turn this fucking boat around. Turn this.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That was a good song.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, I had
that was
I had a free subscription to Sirius. I got the equipment for free. I got a Sirius boombox with a little Sirius player in there, and the person that gave it to me gave me an account number to get a free subscription. And guess what I did? I had that arrangement for, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 years, the boombox and the dealio. I sold all my equipment to somebody. You know why? I wasn't using it. I wasn't listening to Sirius. I wasn't listening to my Sirius boombox.
You mean you weren't supporting Howard Stern's payroll?
I was using the speakers because it had an auxiliary in.
Yeah.
I was using the speakers whenever I would go on a picnic to plug my phone in so that I could listen to Pandora or my personal music collection as opposed to Sirius.
Well, they're not programming anything worth listening to.
Well,
anymore. You know what they're doing is switching into what's ever being on broadcast on terrestrial.
There you go. Well, I was listening.
Why bother?
I was listening to Alt Nation. I was listening to BBC. I listened to these things for a while, but at no point were any of these stations, these satellite stations that I was listening to, at no point were they better than my Pandora station, which is reflective of my tastes, constantly being updated, etc.
Well, here's my advice to all you kids out there who are thinking about going into the wonderful world of broadcasting. By the way, CSB still around? They still in business?
That's amazing. Yeah, they're still there.
Really?
By the way, if you're thinking,
that is Diploma Mill.
If you're thinking of getting into broadcasting, don't. First of all, if you're thinking of getting into broadcasting by buying your way into broadcasting, you're really stupid. And those are the kind of people that broadcasting school is taking advantage of. If you would like to learn everything that you're going to learn in broadcasting school and a lot more, send an email to pr@soflowradio.com. PR, it stands for Puerto Rican, at soflowradio.com, and we'll hook you up, because I used to teach there. My partner Chris used to teach there. He's my supervisor, by the way. We've got years of broadcasting school experience and broadcasting experience, and we'll only charge you a very nominal fee. Hell, if you look good, if you smell good, if you're semi-solid, we might even allow you to intern here, as we keep adding shows all the time, and there's a lot of work to be done over here at SoFlo Radio. These new palatial studios, they just got to be bigger, and they just need a thermostat that works. But anyway, nobody doesn't like these studios. Classy people come into these studios, and they do just like this. They go,
no, these are nice studios.
It's not bad. Yeah, step up from the slum you used to broadcast out of when you first started. Step up from the warehouse district that you used to broadcast out of. So how you want to do today? Like do like half-hour segments, like at every 30-minute post, play some stuff, and then come back and yammer?
You know, we could do that.
As we see fit or something.
Because we do have the Neil tributes from 2010.
Yeah, I want to play a lot of the stuff that we have in the can. And I got away from my point, as I usually do, and I'm holding these fake drumsticks. That
we have Foley, ladies and gentlemen. And another thing, you forgot to mention that you also provide training for key punch operating and teletypes.
Yeah.
So,
you know, I took a key punch class
because radio is dead, ladies and gentlemen.
Is that where you're?
Entirely.
Are you making a key punch joke? Because you know I took a key punch class for real in real life. That's how old I am.
Did you really?
I did. South Miami Senior High.
You and I have that in common. We picked the wrong careers.
I should have stayed in key punch.
Who knows? It may come back. Depending on what.
Nevertheless, back to the point that I was trying to get is all the Neil Rogers Show are all there on YouTube. You guys can listen to them at your heart's content. You don't need to have me replay them here on the radio. And likewise with the Neil tribute things, you know, they're there. We're gonna play. I think that's an excellent idea. the day after Christmas during this time slot or something like that, we'll play the what do you got, like 4 or 5 hours?
We got 5 hours of Neil tribute.
Of Neil tribute stuff.
Then it feels good time, as Neil would say.
We'll check the calendar because he passed on New Year's Eve. Is that right?
Was it?
That's what I thought.
It was the day before.
I remember I was wrapping.
No, it was Christmas Eve.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's right. Christmas
Christmas Eve.
I was wrapping presents and getting ready to go to the family Cuban Christmas. And I got a call or a text, and I had to stop and stop wrapping presents and start preparing like a press release. I'm like, oh man, how very considerate, Neil. Yeah. To on Christmas Eve, and it was very sad. And so it's a weird thing for me that Christmas is always going to be melancholy from now on because of that. But anyway, congratulations and job well done. Hats off to the Neil fans for putting up the YouTube thing, and they're the ones that had the recordings. I had some, but they had like all of them. These are recordings that they made off the radio. They're recording off the radio. You copyright.
Yeah. The Neil Rogers fan page on Facebook. Those guys are dedicated. They're almost filling the big shoes of Eric.
It was like a religion. We knew that while it was going on.
It's only a shame that they couldn't.
Speaking of religion, make sure to tune into the Kingdom of God Hour. Saturdays at 10 o'clock here. It's a great show. You got to listen to it. It'll raise your eyebrows. You have no idea.
I'm going to petition the Lord with prayer.
Never heard anything like it. 28 till 1 on All Christian Radio.
Before we go into the break, real quick.
Sure.
This is one of the bits when Neil was arrested. And somehow it's perfect for today. It lends itself well.
Beautiful. The Neil Rogers Show.
Love my job with my badge and gun and boots on. I frequent all the porno theaters regularly. What I like best is to watch somebody masturbate and drool upon their chest. Just hanging round the donut shop was getting pretty old, so I put it for a transfer, and now I get to bust those creeps who watch porno. This I swear, when the lights are low in the theater, you can bet that I'll be there. I busted one guy yesterday, he was no more than a boy. When I asked to see some ID, he started crying, so I threw the cuffs on. Then he cried out in his anger and his shame, please leave me alone, please leave me alone. And I threw him in the cage. Yes, I cuffed him and I threw him in the cage. It's the law. It's the law, la 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 la. It's the law. It's the law, la 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 la. It's the la la la. Your taxes pay my salary, and I hope that you are proud of the work that I am doing, 'cause we all know how the crime rate is going down. And I profess to selectively enforce some laws and disregard the rest. And all those dirty movie homos, they can mess with me. That's the way the law is written, and it won't change because of public apathy. Apathy. Oh, oh. It's the law. It's the law, la 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 la. It's the law. It's the law, la 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 la. It's the law. It's the law, la 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 la. It's
Another break already?
This portion of the show brought to you by torture. It may have cost us the moral high ground, but if Americans can handle The Bachelor and Dancing with the Stars, Khalid Crazy Muslim should be able to hack a live battery clamp on his scrotum.
We do not torture. We do not torture. We do not torture. We do not torture. We do not torture.
We do not torture.
We do not torture.
We do not torture here.
We do not torture. We do not torture. 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 We do not torture. 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 We do not torture.
Torture.
We do not torture.
You're a
We do not torture. 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 We do not torture. 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 We do not torture.
Torture.
We do not torture. 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 We do not torture. We do not torture.
Massage me.
So anyway, we're expecting Phil Salzman to call any second now, and the food is here. We want to thank Boone again profusely. There's enough food here to feed the Chinese army. Why? Why? One open line in Dade and one in Broward. Boy, this is good. What? What are you laughing at?
Nothing. Everything's fine.
I'm just sitting here, and you're over there cackling. I think Calder was right about you.
Just relax.
What, Bird? Here, give me your finger. Now stick your finger in this piece of pita bread, okay?
Okay. Ow!
Man, I just bit your finger off, and you're still laughing. And you know what? It's not bad. You got 9 more of these, right?
Yes.
Yeah, put a little melted mozzarella on this, and you really got something.
My hostile, hysterical lunatic friend, you old douchebag, you old douchebag. I bet you're old enough to be Joey Reynolds' mother. I bet you're old enough to be Joey Reynolds' mother. I bet you're old enough to be Joey Reynolds' mother.
I
Come on, you sick old bag. You pathetic old douche, pathetic old douche. You got a point, too. It's right at the top of the head, you jackass. Because they're not all as brilliant as you are, you old bitch, you old bitch, you old bitch.
You know, I've heard that word on Cheers.
Yeah.
And
It's,
other words that I can't say.
We will
on
not
Cheers.
accept any restrictions on that particular word, okay? Well, that's where we draw the line. I mean, if you hear it on WGN...
We say it in the play.
Or most of their words are gee, golly, aw gosh, and holy cow.
Holy cow.
And only Harry Carey's allowed to say that.
Holy cow! Now back to the Neil Rogers program on 1240 WGBA. Here again, America's youngest talk show host, 6-year-old Neil Rogers.
Okay, I guess we're done with mail. And there's 4 minutes left in the hour. So let's take some calls. Orleans, hello.
Yeah, Neil, how's it going?
Great.
That's good. Listen, I canceled my subscription to the Rochester Democrat and Chronicle.
Oh, the good old DNC. What an abortion that paper is.
Then I asked how many other people did likewise, and they said none of my business.
Yeah, well, they're real nice over there.
Okay, well, I just thought I'd let you know.
You're a fine American. Have a nice life. Walu, hello.
I want to speak to Neil.
You got him.
Am I on?
Yeah.
Neil?
Yeah.
Neil, you're a stinky, pinko, glue-sniffing bedwetter and a pansy.
Great call. This is the day so far. Did he say pansy? Where does he get off? What a mung brain. I ride my bike 30 miles every Saturday to do this show, and this guy calls me names. Shame on you, sir. Shame on you. By the way, have you seen some of those bag boys at the new AMP? Now what are you cackling about, eggs? Is this my gun? A million producers in the world, and they stick me in here with an egg. Shut his mic off. Seneca Castle, hello.
Oh, Neil, you used to be such a nice boy, and now you're so terrible.
Yeah, but you can't shut it off. You can't shut it off. I don't need this. I have offers from other stations. Batavia, Elmira, Fredonia. But instead, I stay here and entertain you grotesque, subhuman doodlebags. Unbelievable. Geneva, hello.
Hello, is this Neil Rogers?
What kind of phone are you on, sir?
How's that again?
Do you have a dial phone or what?
No, I had to put it to the operator.
Well, let's not get into that.
Hey, I was listening to Joey Reynolds on WKBW last night.
Somebody has to.
Did you hear what he's been saying about you?
No, I don't listen anymore. He's a doddering old man.
He claims he's only 40.
Yeah, right. And Joey beat Truman, too. Oh, shut up, Egg. You're pathetic. And if you think he's bad now, wait till he hatches. Oh, boy. Okay, when we come back, maybe the egg will come out of his shell. But I hope not.
Greg?
Yeah.
Greg who?
You know who Greg who.
Oh, Greg. I thought you meant Craig.
Greg. Said something about 2A.
Oh, I thought you meant Craig Worthing. We don't like to knock on this show. We don't want to talk about 2A or any other place. If we got something positive to say, go ahead. And we can talk about the Red Sox. They won 11 games in a row. The Red Sox are going to do it this year. They're going to be in this series, friends. And I'm going to go to Fenway and stand outside the ballpark because I haven't got enough money to buy a ticket. You don't know what it's like, friends, to drive around McDonald's and not be able to buy a Big Mac. Oh, that Craig, I'm telling you. It's 9:13 on Zeta 4. It's been a wild 12 years in this market, boy. It's been really something. But, of course, all good things must come to an end.
Sways round his middle with a jiggle when he walks. Sways round his middle when he walks. What is fudge? It's Hank Goldberg and his overhang. The biggest overhang that sways round his middle when he walks. What is fudge? It's fat, rich, and his cellulite. The creamy cellulite that sways round his middle when he walks. Chubby pair of fat boys, they really like to chow their meat. It's been so long that they've had a chance to really see their feet. What is Pudge? It's Hank Goldberg and his jelly roll. The biggest waste of flesh that sways the Earth's rotation when he walks. Sways round his middle with a jiggle when he walks. Sways round his middle when he walks. Sways round his middle with a jiggle when he walks. Sways round his middle when he walks.
By the time I get through the next couple of minutes, she is going to have to pick every scab off that putrid, pus-filled body of hers, all right?
Nobody rips you better.
So I'm going crazy on this, yes, because this has got to stop. You make me sick, Pat, you bitch! God! How is it possible to be so stupid, Pat?
Nobody rips you an ass as good as Neil.
You idiot, you asshole, you!
Baby, he's the best.
Well, sing this, you fat slob! I'm gonna take this cord and I'm gonna shove it right up his ass, okay? And I'm gonna shove this thing so far up his butt that he's gonna be singing a different tune when I get through with him. Don't we have a longer cord than this piece of crap? Look at this. Look how short this damn thing is. got 100 assholes running around this building. They can find another one besides him, although maybe not that big. Go get it out of there. Go pull a cord somewhere. Go do something. Pull what? In your case, a good question, okay? God.
Nobody rips your bed.
Don't start looking once again, as always, to blame fat old Neil for whatever you're upset about. You disgusting, nauseating old slobs.
Nobody rips you an ass as good as me.
Old, crabby old bitches.
Neil, if you don't repent, you're going to split hell wide open.
Yeah, I'm going to split it wide open. You know, I'm going to split wide open your skull with a mallet, you stupid old bitch. Ah! There we go. Now we're cooking. What did I just get through talking about? It was old bags. We don't want you, lady, okay? Go get some knitting out. Go find some crossword puzzles to do. Go get something.
Mahjong?
It's fade out. You can fade out. There's nothing here.
I'm glad I'm old enough to get some of the jokes from the Neil Rogers show, although not as many as you got, you and Suds.
Well,
I'm old now. I'm officially old. Had the 50th birthday party. Thank you to everyone who helped out. I'm going to do a bunch of thank yous right now. I want to thank everyone who helped out at my birthday party, especially my older daughter. She has so many fake nicknames. You know how I use nicknames for everybody on the show, or pseudonyms to protect the guilty. Undead Princess is one of her many pseudonyms. I guess I'll use that. I want to one of my best friends in the world, Ann Archie. Ann Archie was very helpful, and her family.
I watched her sons.
My extended family from the neighborhood over there, helping with the salad bar and the barbecue and just everything. The lights.
I got to say, that was a great party.
Thank you.
And thank you for inviting me to that.
You're very welcome. I want to. There were some people conspicuous by their absence. I don't know what the hell happened to them. I'm going to start unfriending some people on Facebook. People that assured me they would be there, but some of the people couldn't. They had other commitments. I understand that, but the people that said, and that's a funny thing, and this is the South Florida way. People, because we talked about it before, saying it is as good as doing it in South Florida to some people.
Yeah.
So while I'm doing thank yous, I want to thank everybody that came out to the party and helped me celebrate, and fire guy, I don't know what to call him.
He was swinging his balls around.
He was swinging. We had several fire spinners. I twirled fire baton and breathed fire and got
a couple
lamp
of men
oil
were playing with their balls
all over myself, and sure, a lot of fun by all. But since it's a Neil tribute show and I'm in thank you mode. Remember at the funeral?
Yeah,
I can't tell you how many people came up to me afterwards and shook my hand and thanked me for my contributions to the Neil Rogers show and the whole Neil Rogers phenomenon, and shook my hand, and in some cases took my hand in both their hands, and their both hands, and shook my hand and looked me in the eye and said, "If there's anything I can do to help, if there's anything I can do for you, don't hesitate to call."
Yeah.
Well, I hesitated to call, but then eventually I did call some people that said that to me. And I would like to take this time to thank all of the people who said they would be there for me, who came through when I called them, even if it was just asking them for advice. Okay, I'm done.
Okay. Well, it's Florida.
I don't. Instead, they should have taken my hand in their both hands, and looked me in the eye and said, "Now that Neil's dead, you might as well just crawl into that coffin with him and get cremated right there along with him. Now that Neil's dead, you're dead to me. Now that Neil's dead, you might as well be dead too. Now that Neil's dead, there's no use for you on this planet, so you might as well just die. Don't call me, lose my number, take my number out of the phone. Thanks for everything that you did for Neil. Thanks for everything that you did for me, on behalf of Neil and everything. And now go fuck off and die."
By the way,
but I do want to thank because not the people in the funeral, but other people who were Neil fans and George fans did come through for me, including very, very recently. And I don't want to name any names because people, and it's funny, the good people, one of the things that makes them good people is they don't want any credit. They don't want any thanks. They want to remain anonymous. Like Jesus said, make your alms in private. When you give to the poor, do it in private so that nobody knows that it's you giving the money, because that's the only way that it's really a good deed. Otherwise, you're showboating. So I've had some people since Neil's death, since the end of the show and Neil's death, who have been very helpful to me in my life and have been contributed to this enterprise. And we wouldn't be around here today, 5.5 years later, still broadcasting over here on the internet in these bigger, better studios if it hadn't been for some of the people who you hear on the air, by the way, as our sponsors, like Jason at Key Information Solutions, and and Dr. Kim, and Jeff Cohen from Pizza Loft, and Power Smoothie, and Aventura, and people who have been there, people who genuinely have had. Some people didn't make any promises whatsoever. They just they just came forward of their own accord and said, "Hey man, how about some help? Here you go." And then people in my personal life lately, especially the 1-year anniversary of my divorce today, by the way. Not today, but this month. I'm not sure the exact date. Something like the 19th or something. I forget when. It was my Christmas present to myself last year.
And Steve's was successful too. Ta-da!
Congratulations!
Yay!
So hold the pickles.
By the way, next time you have a party,
yeah,
tell me if the dress is regular casino.
I said lot party, man.
No,
you weren't the only.
You didn't say lot.
You weren't the only lady. You know where you were going. There wasn't going to be 50 people inside that rinky-dinky little ghetto apartment, man.
No, I didn't know. So I dressed. Like
I have a bad
James
habit
Bond
of doing that. One of the
casino
things that because remember the Christmas party, the cowboy Christmas party at the Triple K Ranch that Neil used to love to talk about, the one Christmas party that he went to.
Was that the garlic festival?
If I hadn't, no, not the garlic festival, the cowboy rodeo party, the rodeo Christmas party, where all the cowboys were hitting on our women and everybody was sinking into the mud. Yeah, back when I used to speak to my ex-wife, one of the things that she liked to never drop was, "He made me wear heels. He made me wear heels to this muddy thing at the Cowboys, and we were sinking into the mud, and I wear heels." You weren't the only lady at the party that was wearing inappropriate footwear.
I know. I felt comfortable that way.
It was a parking lot party, so next time I will make sure to, when I tell people about the party, to say it's going to be, wear your hiking boots, because it's going to be in a parking lot, in a gravel lot. I shouldn't say parking lot; it's a multi-use lot. You can butcher bodies on there, operate heavy equipment. I can't get these drumsticks.
In the 23 years that I've known you, I've never been. We've been out together. We've done things, but not that way.
Yeah.
But I never went to a George party. Well, that was my first George party experience.
Actually, that was the first George party.
Well, like I said, that was a great
Understand something, and you really want to open that can of worms. You want to pick that scab, don't you? One of the things that was a source of conflict in my life, as I would point out to the now ex, all of the evidence that you don't give a rat's ass about me is, bitch, you never threw me a party, not for my birthday. I threw her parties. I threw her a luau one year and invited a fire dancer and paid for a fire dancer. I performed. I got the thing catered. I played waiter for her and her friends, and our birthday is a week apart. The following week, when it was my turn to get a party, one of my friends, Anarchy, got to come over. We ordered pizza and sat out back and smoked joints. That was my birthday party. Every year. I couldn't... other than that place, that's my place. So that's the first George party, officially. Now, understand something. You know that parties developed there. Sometimes I would just be sitting there minding my own business, and then things would snowball. One friend would come over, then another friend would come over, and then somebody would bring beer, and then, things would snowball there. But that was the first planned public party that I've ever had at that place. I sure as hell wasn't allowed to have parties at my house. Are you kidding me?
Oh, I didn't think you were at the party. I thought you had them at clubs and stuff.
No, with Jabba the slut living there, she didn't want people over. She would have to clean up, and she would the house of filth and clutter was very important to her. Being able to just sit in the back bedroom eating, watching TV, and stewing in her own juices was a very important part of her life. Having to get up to do more than to go to the bathroom. And if she could figure out a way for me to go to the bathroom for her, she would have.
Well, listen, it's a good thing you got divorced when you did, because you could have wound up like Casey Kasem.
Oh yeah, well,
they're both the same size.
That's not bad. What a great idea. My ex-wife is carting my carcass around. She's gonna have it shrunk down and made into a rear view mirror fob. I'm gonna just
and I'm sitting here rotting.
I would love that. What a great thing, somebody gets into the ex-wife's car and they point to the shrunken, it's way more than the shrunken head. It's a shrunken carcass hanging from the rearview mirror, and they say, what the hell is that? Mummified miniature, looks like a G.I. Joe action figure mummy. What is that? And they go, that's my ex-husband's carcass there. We had the bones extracted, we had him dried, and that's him. He looks like beef jerky a little bit, doesn't he? Yeah. Kind of. Speaking of beef jerky, Suds Coleman is here, ladies and gentlemen.
Suds Coleman, ladies and gentlemen.
And we have...
already surpassed anything that I hoped for today.
It's only just begun.
I've only been there a minute.
I have treats for you. I have some creamy spinach dip and corn chips. I know you have a big breakfast, but you will want to at some point avail yourself to the hand-caught, hand-smoked salmon from Oregon, made with love. My brother-in-law put a lot of his love in there.
Oh,
and
I don't know how that sounds, but
it's delicious. it's infused.
I love smoked salmon.
It's smoked salmon. He caught it himself from the waters of the Columbia River.
Yes.
Actually, I don't forget the exact name of the river, but a tributary of the Columbia is where they go salmon fishing, and he caught his limit and smoked it right up that day. It went right from the water to the knife to the smoker.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And
well, unless you're the salmon.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? If I were a salmon, this is how I would want to go.
If I were a salmon that's swimming upstream, I'd call Uber.
They die anyway.
Oh yeah.
We're just killing them a little bit earlier, and we're remembering them much better than just if they die and float downstream. We put them in smokers. Like I hope that someone loves my dead flesh as much as I'm loving this salmon over here.
Well, I never thought of it that way, but
now that Suds is here, we can. I got the. I don't know if I'm going to see you guys before Christmas, so I got you.
Not if I can help it.
Your Christmas presents. I don't know if because Boca just starts rooting through bags.
Way to go, Brit.
She's very inappropriate over here. So the red little bag.
Not those kind of bags.
Let's do Suds first. I got you your present. It's in the big blue bag over there, Sudsy.
There it is.
So you got you opened. I didn't wrap it. I just stuck it in a bag.
Oh no, that's
just pull it right out of there. I don't know if you have one of these.
Oh,
everyone should.
Oh,
bacon.
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen, I have my very own bacon bowl. And
bacon bowl maker.
I
bacon not included.
I bought bacon today.
Hey,
how about that?
I told Boca the only thing that gives bacon a run for its money is that salmon I have in the Tupperware right there.
Have you tried one of these out or
no? This is how I shop for people. People go, people say, you always buy the best presents. Well, here's how I shop. I go and I see something that I would like for myself, and then I buy it and give it to somebody else.
Yeah,
that's how I shop.
Me too.
What the hell?
I've already bought 5 Teslas today.
Right?
Did you really?
Yeah. Well, I thought 5 steaming...
There's an outlet right over here.
I thought 5 steaming bags of crack cocaine, so...
well, thank you.
And everybody's happy to have it. And Boca, I don't know if you already saw your present, Boca, if you already rooted through the bag. So it's in the red bag.
I'm setting up for the break. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Wait.
I will admit this is a re-gift.
Gift.
Oh, bacon snuff.
This is a gift. This is something that I got for my birthday, and it's I'm re-gifting it because there's absolutely no chance that I'll be
Naked Pleasure Fit technology.
Yeah, just read. I don't know if you need your glasses, but read what it says on the bottom here. That's right side up. Right here.
Right.
Large, naked, premium. Latex condoms.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yay.
None of those things apply to me. First of all, somebody gave me like extra large condoms.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, not someone who I'd ever been intimate with.
You know, this is not working.
Obviously not.
Well.
There you go.
And they're classy condoms.
Ooh.
Yeah, they come in a drawer.
It says right on the package, naked.
Yeah.
How do they play music?
Extra large. So
they have Wi-Fi.
You know, first of all,
this reminds me of. Speaking of all this police brutality, I have dated officers of the law.
I'm sure,
and they themselves have administered rectal hydration. And
wow. I thought it was only fun when the victim is resisting.
I was. Perfect gentlemen. Very nice.
Perfect gentlemen.
They didn't beat me. They beat me off.
But don't.
Oh! What, man, we've got holy.
Yeah!
Now this is what
Eat your heart out,
every
Bill
home should
O'Reilly.
have. Yeah.
Where's this been all my life?
Oh man, where
Yeah.
did you get that?
My birthday, Siren Sandra gave me this. Siren Sandra does a radio show here every Tuesday
Yeah.
from 12 to 2. She was at the birthday party. Boca and Sandra and her crew.
Yeah.
They were bonding. You were bonding with Wanda. Wanda was bonding with Anarchy's brother.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was a groovy party.
Well,
There was
fire.
I was home bonding with a couple of cats.
You
That
weren't
was
at the
about-
King's Head? I thought you were at the King's Head.
Well, I was yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah.
For just a brief fish and chips. You know.
Yeah, you got to move to Hollywood so we can spend time together.
You know, if I moved down
in our
here-
mutual twilight years. Now that I'm officially old.
If I lived closer to the King's Head, or if I lived down here, my life would be. Hey, it wouldn't be too bad, you know.
Wouldn't be too bad.
Come to think of it.
Listen, living stumbling distance from 5 of your favorite bars is very handy. Whether it's Boston Johnny's, G's Place, Whiskey Tango.
Well, it's right.
there's
Boston Johnny's not too far, is it?
It's like,
Yeah.
dude, it's a 3-minute stumble.
Yeah.
From
Hi, Jill.
from my house. How you doing, Jill? She's still there, right?
Sure.
Good. They
Yeah.
still got Guinness on gravity.
Yeah.
The anti-gravity tap. You got to hold the glass upside down when you.
It's great.
When you do
Well-
that over there. Welcome to the Neil Tribute Show, Sudsy. Couldn't
Yes, thank you.
be doing it without you. I don't think you got a gander at my head. I had to talk about my head for a while. I had here.
Oh, it looks
I'll
pretty
show you.
normal.
Ready?
Same.
Do we have a drum roll or
Yeah.
fanfare music?
Right there,
Here,
yeah, right in
Have
front
a
of you.
cinnamon roll.
These drums don't actually bounce the drumsticks. So
Pork roll.
Check it out. It's already
Perfect.
growing back a little
Yeah.
bit. No, it's horrible.
What?
It's horrible.
Lose a
I'm
bet?
growing it back. I'm doing all of the things that I had ruled out before. I'm ruling them back in. All of them, including transplants and
You
weaves.
look like Woody Harrelson.
Transplants and weaves. No, I don't. I look like my brother. My brother has a pointy head.
Oh.
Look at the profile over
No,
here. I look
Woody.
like a newborn
Woody.
baby. I
Yeah.
look like a flathead Indian. No, it's horrible. First of all,
Well, now,
my
why?
head-
What precipitated this?
well, I have a bald spot, specifically in the shape of
do
Mickey.
now.
It's in the shape of Mickey Mouse, my bald spot, and I know this goes back to ancient times. It's why the Jews invented the yarmulke. They're not fooling anyone. As a matter of fact, I should get one from the yarmulke shelf over there. We have a specific shelf. You can't see it. The camera is actually on top of it.
I see.
Dedicated
Oh, yeah.
specifically just to yarmulkes. So. The bald spot, I would, young guys shave their head as fashion. If you shave your head, that's a hairstyle. That's fashion.
Okay.
If you have a bald spot, you're a bald old man.
Yeah.
So
I see.
for years, bald old men have been shaving their head. So it's like, I'm not bald, I'm trendy. I'm not bald, I'm fashionable. I'm not bald, I'm a biker. I'm not bald, I'm a prison homosexual. I'm not bald, I'm because anything other than bald is better than being bald. So shaving your head for whatever reason, I'm not bald, I had a bad lice problem. I'm not bald, I have cancer. Anything is better than having a bald spot, right, Boca? You have the hair toupee comedy bit, as a matter of fact, on the issue.
You mean this?
No,
I don't have a
it's called-
bald spot.
oh,
I got
cash
a wispy
toupee.
spot.
There's a Boca Brian bit called Cash Toupee.
When the sun beats down,
I know how to do tacos.
burns the top up.
Okay.
We can play that during the next set. So my bald spot in the shape of Mickey Mouse with one ear bigger than the other was making me look way older than I am. And everybody's
see.
I can't believe you're 50. You don't look 50. I go, yeah, if I keep my hat on.
You know, it's
good
every
clean
well, it's coming up New Year's, and for the last 3 years anyway, 4 I think. I've been threatening to shave off my mustache.
It's just,
as you can see, it's still there.
It's just a fade.
You didn't do it for November?
Yeah.
Wasn't it? November.
Like
November was you're supposed to have a mustache, and then you shave
are
it
you?
off in
Is
December.
November mustache
I don't know.
I forget which
well,
one
anyway,
it was.
so I'm at that point again where maybe I will.
Let's
Maybe I
all
won't.
Did you
grow Hitler mustaches for Christmas this
All
year?
right.
That's easy.
We'll say no. These are Charlie Chaplin mustaches.
I already have one, but you can't see it.
Oh, okay. It's like an accident, but nobody got hurt.
Yeah,
It was an
not the flying V.
accident. Oh, okay. The landing strip.
Wouldn't it be funny if Hitler had a flying V mustache?
Yes, but he called it his Luftwaffe.
Oh, Jesus.
No, that comes in handy today. And don't worry, Facebook listeners, we'll be getting to more meal bits in just a moment. But first,
as soon as we settle down a little bit.
Yeah.
So now, I was talking big on the other side of my 50th birthday. I'm going to shave my head. I'm going to have my daughter paint seasonal art. Remember I was saying all that? Here, have a coaster, young man.
Thank you.
I was going to have a head tattoo. I was going to get a tattoo of hair on my head. And then I saw my profile with the shaved head.
Uh-huh.
And there's my older brother. And my older brother has been kind of shaving his head for a long time.
Yeah.
And the first time I saw him with it, I went, damn, you got a pointy head, Point Dexter. You look like a newborn baby. You look like you just came out of vagina, and it didn't. And it took a long time. You know, newborn babies have got that pointy cone head thing going on.
So.
The crown of their head's
Had
all
much experience with
elongated.
them,
They look
but,
like that pharaoh with the deformed head.
Yeah.
Anyway, my brother's got a pointy head. It's all flat on the front and pointy in the back and the crown. And I saw my profile, and there it is.
Kind of like Woody Woodpecker.
My brother's head.
Wow.
Yeah, and then from the front, and it's funny, but it's right where the hair is. My head has got the head skin is kind of fat. I got a fat head.
You got a ponytail
when
of skin.
When
back
there's
there.
hair on it, it just looks like a head with
Yeah.
hair. It doesn't look
But now you see
weird,
the fat
weird at all.
scalp.
But now I see that, and from the front I look like a peanut, and from the side I look like a.
Yeah.
Well, I'll get you a monocle.
I don't even know what to. I look like a piece of asparagus. That's all pointy and leaning. I look like a forward slash or a backslash, depending on which side of me you're standing on.
Yeah.
So now, all options back on the table, including transplants. But if I'm going to get a transplant, you know what always bothered me about the transplant is they take this patch, like this rectangular section of hair from the back of your head, sew it up so you got this like scar back there. You always got to keep your hair a little bit long to cover up the scar. And then they take that patch and they chop it up. And make the little plugs out of it, and that's what they put in places.
I never
so that's
knew
how
that.
that works. But I don't want the head scar, so I'm thinking I'm going to get rich, right? This is my plan. And it's just going to be easy. First, I got to get rich. Then I'm going to pay someone that's compatible and get a patch of hair from their head.
You're not that bald.
I'm bald enough. Get a patch of hair from their
No,
head,
I didn't
and
think-
maybe
I never noticed
like red hair. Like find someone with like that really bright copper red hair.
Oh, I can,
and have my
yeah.
plugs there, so I'll have red highlights on the sides and the
Oh, I
temples
like
over here,
that,
and then
yeah.
on the crown of my hair. Yeah. What do you think?
I mean, you might be onto something with that. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, different colored
Something
hairs.
different?
Sure.
Right, skin graft, because I wanted to find a nice dark-skinned black person
Yeah.
and have a skin graft, like maybe a circle or a star or maybe an armband of skin, like we get the same blood type, and then we trade patches of skin. So
Well, that's a very interesting concept.
So I
one
could
that
be,
I had never,
technically speaking, I'm part African American, and I can show them the patch on my arms. That's my black skin there. I got skin brothers instead of blood brothers. Then, of course, the African American person will have some white skin, so that when a cop pulls out a gun, it'll say, "Wait, don't shoot me! Look, I'm part white," and they
Yeah.
can point to the patch on their arm. And
Well, this will be beneficial to
and the
everyone.
cop will say,
then,
"All right, well then I'll shoot you in the other arm." All right, turn around so I can shoot you in the other arm.
I never worried about my hair. I could. It's my nails.
What happens to your nail? Are they
Nothing.
turn
I just
yellowy
wanted
and
to always to be
fungusy?
perfect, so that when I'm sitting at the bar,
Right.
like so,
They are
everybody
perfect,
else-
boy. Those are perfect.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
manicured
yeah.
nails. Do you
Mhm.
file them yourself?
Oh no. Well,
No.
yeah,
Yeah.
Well, actually, I don't
those are
file
filed.
them at all.
Those are very
you know,
sculpted there.
Just
do you go to
I have good teeth.
Do you go to a manicurist? Those aren't bit. Look at those. Those are immaculate nails.
Yeah.
Look at those nails in Boca. Mine could use some filing.
Yeah.
Right now they're
See, there you are.
They're defiled right now, so they could use some filing.
That's my big concern in life.
Well,
as far as
hair,
physical appearance,
hair
my
was,
nails.
and you remember when I had that long ass mullet.
Yeah,
hair was always a big deal to me in my life. As a short guy, I would compensate, like many short guys do, with other things, with my physical skills. You know, my sense of balance and dexterity, my baton twirling and fire breathing skills, my ability to ride a unicycle on a tightrope, and other circus-like skills, and also my luxurious hair, my Pantene hair. My lustful locks of hair that would just blow in the wind. It looked great, especially if I was horseback riding. My hair would bounce
there you
along
go.
with the
Sure.
horse's tail, and you know, and it was a neat look.
Well, you
It was a
remember when you had the Ray Davies hair.
great way. Great way. And by the way, never in my life did I go into a hair cutting establishment and say, "Yo, give me a mullet. Hey, I want to look like a trailer trash boy. Hey, make me look like Ray Davies from the 80s. That never happened. I had a
You
70s.
did.
I know, but I had a 70s layer cut, and every time I went in there, they kept mulletizing me. I said, I want layers. I want layered feathered hair. I should have just said cut it all off, which is eventually what I had to do to unmullet myself, like get it off. That happened down here. I had feathered hair when I came here to South Florida and tried to get them to give me the same haircut that I had in Montana. That's when they started giving me mullets.
I see.
Like they didn't conceive of that. Like the hairstyle I wanted was too far back. Like I wanted 70s, and they started giving me 80s.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry, I didn't mean to hit you.
What
there.
did you do?
I just smacked you. I get violent. I get all animated now. So I'm so glad you came in today, Sudsy.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here, as a matter of fact.
Hair transplant.
And, of course, honored to be asked in as a guest.
Yeah, you should have been at that party. We had all kinds of beer. I still have.
By the
I
way-
have beer that I couldn't fit back in my fridge.
Incidentally,
where'd you
I'm
have the
not going to
party?
play this, but just
He's a real no-ham man.
I just wanted to throw
Is it about Rick Scott?
Yeah, that too. Except you still have your eyebrows.
I do. Oh,
You know,
hey,
Rick
I
Scott
was-
could star in movie. Remember that?
Yes.
No.
Yeah. Yes.
No.
Yes.
It's about a snake.
Oh.
A man who turns into a snake.
and his eyebrows fall out.
The only thing that could kill him was a hoe.
Dirty hoe. Oh, wait. You can use your pen. You don't have to keep the drumsticks in your hand if you just have a pen here.
Manimal.
When are they going to bring that back?
Yeah, really.
Bring it to the big screen.
I was actually standing in front of the mirror with a razor in my hand, looking at my eyebrows, going, "That's all that's left. That's all that's left on here." Might as well, if you want to really satisfy your curiosity, see what you look like as Manimal, as that kid Powder from that movie Powder. That gay commercial Powder.
Yeah, I remember that. Yes.
Oh, or one of the Blue Man Group. Last
Henry.
night, yesterday here on the Rick Santee show, Rick's show on the radio, he had a bunch of actors in, and one of the actors was a former Blue Man Group member.
Oh.
Second generation. He was like one of the first replacements, and very impressed that I had Blue Man Group in my in my collection over here. We've got a lot of really exciting shows on SoFlo. We've got that Rick's show on the radio on Thursdays. Followed
Rick
by
Shaw on the radio.
Rick's show on the radio.
Oh.
Rick Santee's. About local
I got
musicians.
excited for a second.
Well, it'd be very exciting to be Rick Shaw. It'd be nice to have on
Yeah,
there.
it
On Mondays,
would.
we have
Sure.
CE Omanship with Steve Gordon from 2 till 3. On Tuesday
Oh,
from
I haven't
12
heard
till 2,
that.
we have the Siren Says with Siren Sandra. Boca met her.
I have heard that
her
once,
entourage.
yes.
Very nice
Yes.
girl.
Is she?
But
Yeah.
very nice, and they just all they do is show their boobs on the show. There, that's it. That's all
For
they
that
do.
alone, it's
especially
worth tuning
especially
in.
Mark. You know, he shows his boobs on the show. We got
And we're showing all of ours right now.
We have
Here
Soul
we
Man
are.
Sports Monday night. We got the Powwow Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. We've got the Frank Fernandez show Tuesdays from 5 to 6, followed by Owen Frank Noodles 6 to 8. We got Larry the Amigo Saturday morning.
There's a drop I couldn't find.
9 to
Neil,
12.
this is Noodles.
No, there you go.
I
Owen
don't
Frank
know
Noodles.
where
Oh,
that
good.
went.
Give it to them. We've got.
Is it the real Noodles?
Gnarly Charlie's Totally Awesome Retro Party coming on after
Oh,
this show
yeah,
today at
yeah.
4 o'clock. We've got the Kingdom of God hour from 10 until 11:30.
No, don't know.
Don't wanna miss that.
night. That's the Word of God.
SoFlo Radio has got quite the lineup.
I'm not even done, man. We've got
Wow.
the SoFlo Music Show. We've got Inoculative Expressions on Saturday afternoon. We've got the Boca Brit Show Sunday at 4.
Right.
Not to mention.
Right. Not to mention. Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm winded just listening
all kinds
to
of
that.
crazy activity, and I don't even think I'm done. I'm forgetting things. We've got the Zod Rider show. We got the Jackal's Head on Sunday night. Look at that. It's just the schedule is changing all the time. Continuing to win by default. Do you remember our good friend John Jarris? Do you remember John Jarris? Were you ever in that building?
Don't know.
I don't know. Probably not. Anyway, ran into him yesterday at a networking function
Yeah.
hosted by Mobile Mike over here at the Mobile Mike Complex, which is not
Oh.
too far away.
Yeah.
And we were talking about the old days and the new days, and it was I want to shout out to John Jarris because he's a good guy in a building full of assholes over there. He was such a nice guy, I didn't understand how Greg Reed liked him. Greg Reed didn't like anybody that wasn't an asshole. He hated everybody. Well, he hated me, and he hated Neil.
Yeah.
And he hated anybody that we liked.
I only met him a couple of times.
And he hated
so I don't know
anybody
if he
that
hated
liked
me
us.
or not, but
Probably. If you were
I
friends with
hope
me,
so, yeah.
there were people that avoided me. That didn't, they had to be my secret friends. It's like I don't want to see Greg. Can't be seen. I don't want Greg to see me talking to you. And I would warn people. New people would come in and just tell me about this place. It's like, well, if you want to get ahead, don't let anyone know that you like me. Don't let anyone know that that you're a friend of mine or Neil's or that you're into this show or that's it, man. You'll be on the shit list
So
and you'll never
Tuesday,
get off.
Tuesday, you don't have.
No.
Oh, well.
It's Thursday anyway. It's Rick Santese.
It's
Rick's show.
I want to get a cool name like that.
It is a cool name.
Santese.
Somebody
Rick
just
Santese.
passed away.
He's a
Who
cool
was that
guy.
actor in Robinson Crusoe on Mars?
Yeah.
What was his name?
Which one?
Oh, I don't know. I remember the movie.
I think his name
but
was Santese.
I don't.
No.
No.
Not the Indian?
No, not the Indian and not the sausage or the monkey. It was.
Those were water sausage, I'll have
It was
you know.
Santee.
No.
Yeah.
No, because it was the two guys, the two astronauts are Adam West and what's his name, Pike from Star Trek.
Let's try but Adam. No, it wasn't Pike. Adam West was in it for like 2 seconds.
I know he was in it for like 2 seconds, but the main actor is Pike from Star Trek.
No.
Yes.
No.
Look it up.
Rick Santee.
Bet you $1. Here goes.
Was it? It wasn't Pike. You're thinking of Jeffrey Hunter.
Yes, it is
With the
Jeffrey
beautiful
Hunter.
eyes.
Jeffrey Hunter is the star of Robinson Crusoe.
No.
Robinson Crusoe on Mars.
It was.
There's my $1.
Okay. This is for the audience to witness. Let me look it up here.
All right.
Hold on a second. I got to Google.
Well, then I'm going to look up something. I don't even know what. Oh my God.
He recently passed away.
He did what?
He died.
Oh, he died.
This guy over here.
Yeah.
He's dying over here.
I'm glad somebody's
right.
calling in to make sure that I know that I won the bet. Hello, SoFlo Radio.
Hey, George, it's KJ.
KJ, ladies and gentlemen, as I live and breathe, and I got a picture ready. I can show a picture while you're talking. I can make a picture of you come up on the video.
Well, I'm in my car. I'm in between nursing homes, so I can't see it.
No, you can't. But you can go on YouTube later after the fact. This is for the people in the Neil Rogers on the Neil Rogers Facebook page that are going all apoplectic right now. Is anybody recording this? We're recording it, and it's going to be on YouTube afterwards. Here we go. Now I put a picture of you and your lovely wife on there.
Well,
on the video feed.
This shows you how little you know about me, George. I don't go on the computer or have anything to do with it.
I know that. I know that. This is for other people.
He's stuck in 1978.
I'm letting other people know that they can see what you look like by watching the video.
You can tell by your speech patterns.
Oh, no, I don't want that.
I know you don't. I didn't ask you if you wanted it. It's a horrible thing.
I just want to bet, KJ.
Hey, he's got nice hair, too.
Uh-oh.
Well,
Paul
I
Manti.
wanted to wish you happy
Wait.
holidays. Police got my pot. Police Navidad.
Coming up.
Excellent. I'm glad you called in a request. Which old folks home can we go see you at now?
Huh?
Yeah, but wait a second.
Yeah, but.
Yes? Boca Brian won the bet, by the way. It's Paul Manti.
I said Duke Manti, but it was close enough. That was
Close enough. Well, because I said it, I would
Petrified
bet you that it was, Jeffrey Hunter.
Where'd you go? Are you there, KJ?
Are you there, KJ?
Yeah.
I hear you breathing. Are you masturbating right now?
Yes.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad somebody doesn't know me.
Hello? Are you listening on your radio?
I'm on the highway.
Oh, good.
I was thinking about this one. Grandma got run over by a Cuban.
Is that an actual song?
Walking in Hialeah Christmas Eve. You can say there is no Santeria. But then I decided to change it.
Okay.
I tried to change it.
Yeah, but
Grandma got assaulted by Bill Cosby.
Okay.
It happened back in 1983. You can say Bill Cosby's not a rapist. But as for me and Grandma, we believe.
How about Brittany got some rectal rehydration?
No shit.
From a cop. That's no shit.
No shit.
Speaking of that.
Shit on the air. Oh, I can say it.
Oh, lordy.
Well, I'm very glad to be a part of the Neil Remembrance Show. Okay.
Well, you were a part of the show. You did stuff.
Well, I'm glad that that some of the old gang are still trying to do something. All right.
We're still doing it. We don't know any better.
We're still alive. They shot us 5 times.
That's right.
That's right.
We're too dumb to die.
That's right. Too dumb to die. I like that.
That's a bumper sticker.
All right.
You're gonna sell it.
I'm on my way to Boynton Beach. I got to play at a nursing home.
Okay, better you than me.
No shit. Listen, everybody out there in internet land. Happy holidays. All right.
Want you to visit the studios one of these days. Bring an instrument.
One of these days, I will come to the studio.
We'll jam.
Okay.
Or jelly,
Listen,
whichever
I
the
love
case
you.
may be.
All right.
I love you.
Love
I'll
you too,
talk to
KJ.
you soon.
All right. Bye,
Okay,
bye,
buddy. Bye.
KJ, ladies and gentlemen.
Give my regards to Woolbright Avenue.
All the other songs, Silent
Remember
Fart.
that song? Wow.
That's right. We're going to rock on down to
Woolbright
Avenue.
The first KJ song that we played on the Neil Rogers Show was Silent Fart.
Was that him?
Somebody came by,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Somebody came by and gave me a cassette tape. KJ, his name was Terry, and I call him Beer Breath Terry. Because, and by the way, and
Beer
that's
breath,
not
wow.
I'm not being judgmental when I say that. I'm being descriptive. There's a difference.
Mhm,
We're doing
sure.
a radio show over here, so I kind of want to do the theater of the mind and set the because I'm often Beer Breath George, and you're Beer Breath Suds. I mean, Jesus Christ,
It's happened. Yeah.
Your nickname isn't because of your fondness for laundry detergent.
No.
So, nevertheless, Beer Breath people
Or
all
my
over the
nails are
world.
nice and clean.
Te salud, God bless you. But this guy, he was in the lobby at the WIOD building, and the receptionist calls to the back room and says, "There's somebody here that wants to see you." And I said, "Call the cops." And I said, no, it says they say that they're a fan of the Neil Rogers Show, and I said, "Call the cops." They say that they've got something for you, and I was like, "Do you want me to call the cops?" I mean, I don't understand why. The cops should be here already, right now. We don't have security in the building. That's why we have to say, "Call the cops."
Let's go into a fun break right now, and we'll go in with the KJ bit.
We will, but wait, let me tell you the KJ story. So it's
All
this speaking of bad hair, this thinning hair, homeless looking feller named Terry, he introduces himself, and he reaches out and he shakes my hand and goes, "Oh, I thought it was Dick Robinson at first."
Sports. Wow.
And the smell of stale beer, I mean, it smells like the bottom of my wastebasket, my kitchen garbage. His breath smelled like the bottom of my kitchen garbage. From all the empty beer bottles down in there and trickling down, and the trickle down economics in my garbage can.
We're trickling on it.
So he hands me this cassette, KJ's Christmas Classics. Every single song on it was filthy. Couldn't air it. Couldn't air it. It was going to be like Morse code. Beep, 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 beep. Using
Except
words
Silent
use.
Farts. That was
Except
pretty
that was
mild.
the one.
Yeah.
That was the one that was clean. It wasn't the funniest one, but it was the clean. It's the only one that was clean that we could air. So I carded that one up and gave it to Neil. I was like, "Oh, that guy's great. He's got any more?" And I said, "Not that we can play." And I told KJ, "Oh, you like it?" I said, "Well, it's not clean."
Yeah.
And so he started contributing more stuff, and there you go. And now he's moved on to all these bigger
Century
and
Village.
better things. Like, man, he wishes he could get booked at Century Village. He goes to those little mom and pop converted motel old folks home now.
I see.
Yeah,
I see.
that's where he is now.
But when he does play at the old folks' home, he kills.
Oh,
Wait, go ahead.
He's a panic.
Yeah.
He's a heart attack. He is.
He
KJ.
jumps and dances too much. We can't handle his antics. Can you get someone in here that is calm?
Perhaps you have a pair of lead shoes he could borrow.
I'll tell you.
Since you don't wear them anymore.
He
you might
flips a
not-
lot of blue wigs. I'll tell you why. 'Cause there's one. He starts off as.
I'm sorry.
Uh-oh.
I'm not ready for that. All right. Say that line again.
He flips a lot of blue wigs. And I'll tell you something. And another thing.
I better keep all the instruments out here today. I can tell I'm gonna need them today.
Only KJ starts his sets with the jingle from Mattress Giant.
Oh,
I'm not kidding. Gonna give you that ooh-ah feeling. Of course, it didn't help that business much.
oh, don't get me started on Mattress Gnat Giant. Oh,
Won't
I
see them
know.
no more.
I got a great idea. We'll buy up all the corner gas stations and turn them into mattress stores because, people, we want to get those impulse mattress shopper on the way home while they're turning right on a busy intersection. They're going to look over there to the right and they're going to see a mattress store in the corner and you're going to, my mattress is kind of getting a little lumpy. I think I'm going to drive in here and sample some of these mattresses in plain view of everybody driving by in front of these big
Well,
windows.
They sell them specifically for assholes on 95 to tie on their roof.
Right.
Even today,
Well, that's
come
what
in
the-
and there was a mattress on some.
That's what the old one is. You know, there's a statistic how many mattresses are found on interstate highways every year, but there's still no statistic as to how many people get shot by the cops. It just goes-
Today on the way in, I saw 2 radiators
On the
laying-
road?
Yeah.
Is that the end of the joke? Because
No, that's the end. I usually only see maybe
two
one
radiators and one. Oh,
But,
okay. It's just like that. But this time they were in pairs.
Yeah.
It is true. You do only often see radiators are solitary creatures in their natural environment. This must have been mating, radiator mating.
It might have been.
He was fortunate because they weren't airborne this time.
That's right. Mediators.
I saw a couple of praying mantises sitting in a tree. KISSI.
On that note, let's take a break so that I can go to the bathroom and warm up a little bit. 125 on All Praying Mantis Radio, SoFloRadio.com.
Oh, it's KJ. It's Silent Fart, ladies and gentlemen.
Silent fart, deadly fart. It can tear your nose apart. You can't hear it, but you can tell. Someone did it by that awful smell. What the hell did you eat? It smells just like rotten meat. Silent fart, deadly fart. I cut one at Kmart. I watched a woman's head swivel around. She was wearing a terrible frown. I walked right out of that place with a big smile on my face. Silent fart, deadly fart. Doing it is quite an art. Let one go, but don't look back at the victims of your gas attack. If you're in church when you do, you'll have to stay in your pew. In nomine Patri et Filii et Spiritus Sancti, I want to know who cut the cheese.
Hi, this is Dwayne Stomp of Blacktooth, and you're listening to the 2 to 1 hour.
To get in touch with George or Boca, call 954-99-00036 in Springfield. In Mayberry, ask Thelma Lou to ring up 954-99-00036. For Shelbyville and surrounding areas of Quahog, 954-99-00036.
They buried Billy Brown today.
That's it?
Isn't that enough?
Boy, talk about morbid. Now, well, Wart wrote that, right?
I think. I
But
don't know.
who sang it?
I forgot to look at the composer on the bottom of the record.
Mort sang it. Doc Downey.
Wart Downey sang that?
That's him.
That is him.
Boy, no wonder he's so depressed.
I don't know if you can put it or not. But
That's enough to make my warts blanch.
Isn't it unbelievable?
Something. I thought his show was depressing, but that's ridiculous. Anyway, more and more people are buying car phones these days, and portable phones, too.
God! Oh, my God. Holy something.
And it's really sad to see that some of them are being taken for a real ride.
What happened to your voice?
It was the helium from that breath he just let out, crossed through the atrium, into this studio, and into my throat.
This is the weirdest radio show I've ever been on or heard in my life. I can't imagine what this sounds like.
More and more people are buying car phones these days, and portable phones. And it's really sad to see that some of them are being taken for a real ride, not only by those cheap-talking, fly-by-night, douchebag, mung-brain, lousy, rotten, filthy discount car phone companies
Buy smart. Go mobile with the best. Florida's #1 mobile phone company, ABC Cellular. And take it from me, I know ABC is dedicated to customer satisfaction, and those NEC car phones from ABC look like magic in my Corvette and my Ferrari, and when I get them hooked up, they're going to sound good, too.
News Talk Radio, 610 WIOD presents The Neil Rogers Show. The opinions expressed by the guests, hosts, or callers are not necessarily those of this station. Now, here's Neil Rogers on News Talk Radio, 610 WIOD.
Hi, this is Sonny Fox. I listen to Neil Rogers because I can hear the word asshole.
1206 at WIOD. We have a nice lady in Sarasota. Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Do you have to use that vulgar language on TV, on radio?
Yes.
Why?
Because I feel like it. It's not, we don't use any vulgar language, ma'am.
That is absolutely sick.
What?
And I want to tell you something.
Well, you're going to tell me something?
For your information, us
Yes.
yahoos don't use language like that.
Yes, you do.
No, we don't.
Yes, you do. You've heard it all.
Can I ask you something?
Can I ask you something?
Can I ask you something?
Well, how about if I ask you something first,
I
so we have
made
a
the
little
call.
dialogue?
I want to ask you something.
Oh, and so in other words, when you make the call, it's like a one-way conversation? My polite lady friend? How about if I asked you a question?
All right, ask me.
How long have you been listening this morning?
All morning.
Well, why all morning? Well, how
Well,
come you have...
it-
well, wait a minute. Let's have a conversation, okay? Let's try. Now, if you're so offended, why haven't you shut it off yet?
Well, because I wanted to really be sure, and I decided to make this call, and this is
Right.
going to be it.
Be sure of what? Uh,
Let me ask you something.
Well, in other words, after the call, you're going to turn it
Let
off?
me ask you something.
Are you going to turn it off? Oh! Did that bitch hang up? I mean, did that nice lady in Sarasota hang up? We seem to be hung up on Sarasota. Now, as I recall, when I worked there back in 1973, there were like 2 or 3 people there with an IQ bigger than their shoe size. But they're probably all dead by now, huh? Or close to it. She sounds like she's getting real close.
I was riding on a train to Austin, Texas. Oh, when a very lovely lady sat next to me. When she got up to eat, she asked if I would hold her sight. I was more than happy to, and now there's more I'd like to do. I wanna kiss her, but she won't let me. I wanna whisper sweet nothings in her ear. I wanna hold her behind closed doors and more. I wanna kiss her, but she won't let me. When she returned, she said she was an actress. She showed me an album of pictures of her opening, which she'd been sitting on. She seemed as sweet as she could be, but I could clearly see she was the kind of girl who stole men's hearts, then wrecked them. I wanna kiss her, but she won't let me.
Damn, God.
I wanna whisper sweet nothings in her ear. I wanna hold her behind closed doors and more. I wanna kiss her, but she won't let me. Well, I'll never forget that train ride down to Austin. We shared a seat and we shared our tales. But as my heart tries to leave her behind, regrets are all I find. 'Cause I'd hoped I'd get that girl in the end. I wanna kiss her, but she won't let me.
Mitch Weedy, our chief engineer, was telling me that SUN signal goes up across the Gulf, all the way up into Tallahassee. He said in the middle of the day, you can, like a local, it just booms in there. So if the governor is listening, man, the Prozac supply's in the mail. God, can you imagine? Talk about nose pickers in Tallahassee, in the Panhandle. God!
I'm gonna tell you about my younger days when my health was good, but my mind was crazed by chemical interactions in my brain. Yes, I got high, you know it's true, but what I'm gonna relate to you will keep you just like me from going insane. Cause you know beer is good for you. Beer is good for you. Beer is good for you. Yes, it's true. Beer is good for you. Yeah, keep off crack, speed, smoke, you'll just get dumber with every toke. Rocks in your head, no wonder it's called stoned. Your heart beats fast, eyes red as hell. The monkey just gets bigger till your money, lungs, and mine will all be blown. But you know beer is good for you. Beer is good for you. Beer is good for you.
Let's do it.
Yes, it's true. Beer is good for you. Beer is good for you. Beer is good for you. Beer is good for you.
Exactly.
Beer is good for you. Dope carnivals inside your head can turn into freak shows instead. Face every imagined horror known to you. Beautiful and exotic, paranoid and psychotic. There's nothing left but sawdust when it's through. Hey, don't feel bad and don't feel blue about all this jive I'm laying on you. I'm just trying to make a point and make it clear. No, don't get angry.
Dude.
Don't lose hope. Just because you can't use dope, you can always make a real good case of beer. Cause
Dude.
you know beer is good for you. Beer is good for you. Beer is good for you. Yes, it's true. Beer is good for you.
Let's do it.
Beer is good for you. Beer is good for you. Beer is good for you. Here's to you. Beer is good for you. Dark or light, it's brown as honey.
Okay.
Worth its weight in gold or money. Oh, baby, that beer is good for you.
Well,
Get
you
your
got
tongue
a
a
point.
tingle and your mind a buzz, and wake up in the morning with a mouthful of fuzz. Oh, baby, that beer is good for you. And you know beer is good for you. Beer is good for you. Beer is good for you. Yes, it's true. Beer is good for you. Not as good as sex, but it's better than jail. Hookers cost, but so does bail. Oh, baby, that beer is cheaper, too. So tell the man behind the bar, B-E-E-R. I'm telling you, beer is good for you. And you know beer is good for you. Beer is good for you. Beer is good for you. Yes, it's true. Beer is good for you. 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 Here's to you. Beer is good for you. I said that beer is
George.
it's good for you.
Drive home with us today and listen and have your say. It's time for the Spic and Suds show. And I'm not wearing any clothes.
20 till 2, SoFloRadio.com. George Rodriguez, Boca, Brit, Suds, Coleman, having a Neil around Christmas. Now, is this, because every time I think ghoulish, when I think ghoul, I think Alan Michaels. Should we have Neil tributes around his birthday, November the 5th?
Sure, why not?
Or around the anniversary of his death? What's traditional to not seem, Alan Michaels-ish? Ghoulish. He might call up with his colostomy bag.
I'd say both. Why not? We got enough material.
Well, because they're very close together, and I would rather do one good show and do it right, once a year, than two mediocre shows. And by do it right, I mean get people to call in. Like I was listening to some of the things that we did. You get Chuck Meyer, some of the things he played in the opening. For all the people that actually knew and worked with Neil. Got Henry Barrow as one of our Facebook friends. We could have him call in, and people. By the way, congratulations, Chris Rollins retiring. Speaking of people that Neil used to talk about, and Chris Rollins was the garden guy back at WIOD.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
he preceded Meg Green
Yep.
And it was always one of those. Meg would come in and start getting ready to do her show, and she would notice that all the lines were lit up. During Chris's show, people waiting to talk to Chris.
Yeah.
And then she would sit down and watch all the lines go off one by
Wow.
one. She goes, "Are you hanging up on those people? Are you?" I was like, No, Meg. Why would I do that? I'm not hanging up on these people. Because first of all, that would require work. Pick up the phone. The garden show is over. Bye. Click.
Yeah.
That would require work.
Hello.
Hello.
Andy, I don't miss you at all. Congratulations.
Yeah.
I'm
Get
rooting
out of
for
here,
you.
Meg.
You want to know?
Okay. I'll play that.
And
That
then-
coming up.
I use the Chris Rollins. Chris is retiring from the Fruit and Spice Park after all these years because that's his regular job.
Yeah.
And I when I do my own little version of broadcasting school for talk show hosts, I use Chris Rollins. One of my first talk show lessons was the Chris Rollins and Meg Green analogy. The difference there. Meg didn't want to give out any advice on the air because it's what she did for a living. She was a financial advisor.
Yeah.
So she didn't want to give out any actual financial advice on the air, and she would say so off the air. She would say, "These people, they want me to do for free what I do for money." That's setting you up for a line.
never
there,
mind.
Yeah. They want me to do for free what I do for money.
Yeah.
Well, so I'm not going to give them. She wanted me to give them her information. It's like if these people ask me a question, instead of hanging up, I'm going to put them on hold, and I want you to give them, my name and number off the air, but don't tell anybody. So she refused to give out. She was doing a Meg Green on Money was the name of the show, and she's supposed to be giving out financial advice. She refused to give out any financial advice because she wanted to get these people in their office so that she could charge them for financial advice. So people would call up and go, "My CD is about to mature, and I don't know if I should roll over." But the same thing that the old man and Meg. Under no circumstances would Meg answer anyone's question. Her answer she was the Bruce Williams of finance. She would say, Bruce Williams, get a lawyer. People would call him up with a law question. Well, you need to get a lawyer. That was the answer to every question.
Yeah.
The answer to Meg Green's question is, well, you need to have a financial planner. You need to get yourself a financial planner. And there was like a 0% chance that she would answer anybody's questions, and then she would yell at me for only putting old people on. Why are you only putting the old people on? I go, I'm putting the people on. Mark Anoff, ladies and gentlemen. Grab a seat, grab a mic, grab a piece of salmon right there in front of you. Grab a plate.
It's a party.
There's a plate.
I can't find that.
It's
Meg Green
sort of a party. What, Meg Green on Money?
Yeah.
It's called Meg Green on Money, the Mitch Lewis bit. So Chris Rollins, the old people would call it, and they're old. I mean, who calls it's a Sunday morning from 6 till 8 in the morning?
Yeah.
Who's calling up for gardening advice on 6 o'clock on a Sunday morning? Nobody younger than
I recall, yes.
But Chris would answer their questions. He says, they'd call Chris, my carambola isn't doing, what I think it should be doing. It's just like, do you have it? Where do you have it? How much sunlight is it getting? Because carambolas, being indigenous to the South Florida area, really enjoy the sunlight. I have it on I have it on the north side, and then I have a southern expense, and that's getting. Well, you might want to consider moving it if it's not too much trouble. If it's not too large. Let me tell you, what kind of soil do you have there? Because carambolas prefer an acidic. By the way, I'm pulling all this advice out of my ass. I have no idea what carambola is like. I'm just telling you. The Chris Rollins would actually answer people's questions. So
I thought it was a musical instrument.
And yes, you're thinking of an artichoke.
Oh, yeah.
Did you say musical excrement?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I see.
So.
Okay.
Did you meet Mark yet before?
No, I don't think so.
Actually,
I thought it was Wolf Blitzer when he came in.
It's close. It's Wilfred Brimley.
Or the walrus.
You know better. Grab that microphone and keep it in front of your mouth, buddy.
I hate everybody. What can I say?
He was out back.
Wow, I like him better already.
He was
you're in good
vacuuming
company.
the Situation Room.
That's right. Reporting the noise.
The Neil Tribute Show was supposed to be next week, but then I was reminded by Kent Wallace that we're doing another Cahoots trade-out show next week that's going to be action-packed. Not only is he bringing Maggie back, but he's also bringing Larry Joe Miller back, and maybe on the phone one of the local artists who's going to have her work displayed, who moonlights at Whiskey Tango. And I told him, I'll do a Cahoots show once a month. You just got to remind me, and he reminded me. So we're doing the Neil Tribute Show today.
I know. I've been watching while driving.
Yeah.
Wow. The scenic road down.
Do I look
Access 1, camera on, watching the show. Fantastic.
Yeah, looking good. Did you see Boca's cat drinking out of the
I was going to ask you if you got a new pussy.
No, that was Boca's pussy. And
My
the
pussy.
the people in the Neil Rogers tribute Facebook page are talking, saying you didn't see it. We're trying to figure out if they're talking about Boca's pussy or my bald spot. So for the people that missed the bald head, take a good gander now
Don't
because
do that.
it's going
You
away.
almost blinded
It's
me
going
while I
away.
was driving down. I saw it. The glare is so great.
I don't know if you can see the Mickey Mouse shaped actual bald spot on the back.
Yes.
Holding my head up for the camera.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can see it.
That's why people say, what possessed you to shave your head? And I said, Satan possessed me, a demon, Pazuzu.
Speaking of Satan,
Yep.
he's here fixing your air conditioning, I think.
Is he?
Absolutely.
Because I complained to Alex. You mean we got an AC repair person in there?
There's somebody in a gray uniform with flames coming out of his hair. So I figured that's Satan.
All right, maybe that's the AC repair person.
Could be. He's got the thermostat.
I don't know.
off
We
in
listen.
his hands.
But please come in the middle of the radio show and start fixing the AC. The audience loves that kind of stuff. That's
you
how
might have to strip down.
That's how they know they're gonna. I'm wearing layers
referring
over
to him,
here.
I hope.
Of course.
I'm wearing a windbreaker.
By the way,
Over here.
for Suds, if I may break in, is that okay?
Break in what?
This is something that I found, and that bucket of bits that I remastered.
Wait a minute! Don't go doing it yet.
I'm not going to do it. Well,
'Cause I don't want to miss
give
a call.
a
I don't want
backstory.
to miss a call.
Oh, we got a call
from Duff. It might be Duff because you warned me that he might be calling in. Hello, SoFlo Radio. Hello on the phone there.
Hey.
Careful what you say.
Hey,
George.
Yes.
Billy Frederick.
Billy Frederick, how you been, buddy?
That's good.
Still tickling the keys?
I got the word from KJ that today was the Neil show.
It is indeed. We're playing lots of lost bits, and we're waxing nostalgic.
You're taking me back.
How you doing? Where are you at these days?
I'm playing at the Tower Club on Saturday nights. That's it.
Well, I don't even know where that is.
It's downtown Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
Top of the Regions Bank. It's a private club, so it's not. I'm not playing anything public anymore.
Oh, okay. You're just playing in private. That's it's kind of bogus thing too.
Yeah, it's a lot easier.
That's what she said.
Yeah,
all the time.
Henry,
I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it short.
Okay.
Good to see you again. I'll catch up to you down the road.
Absolutely. I'm around. Come to downtown Hollywood sometime. That's where our studio
Take
is.
care of yourself.
What sort of inside shit are you guys doing over here that the audience isn't a part of, Suds Coleman? Are you trying to destroy my radio show today?
Oh, are you on?
What is that? It's very funny. You got to put it on the camera now.
Done now.
Oh, it's gone away.
See, and we can actually, because we have the ability to put things up on the video.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, all right. In that case, hey, welcome to the show, everybody. It used to be really good. Speaking.
I'm sorry.
No, the only thing that I regret is not being in on it, and the audience they regret that too.
Well, I'll refind it.
They hate they hate all that inside.
And we'll hold it up to the camera to share it with the rest of the audience.
That worked really well, actually. I was surprised by how good.
Yeah, it did look pretty
how
good,
good
yeah.
Boca's cat
Not
came
pussy.
out on the camera.
Check out Boca's
These
pussy.
people are sick in the Neil Rogers fan page over here. There is some sick, twisted individuals over there, and one of the people actually requested the crepitation contest.
Yeah.
And Boca had the best line throughout the air. So, well, we could play that or we could do a show.
Yeah.
I think it's only 15 minutes long, and you really need it. Don't you guys have that in the Neil's Bits library that you guys have over
I've
there?
got it.
The crepitation contest?
Takes
No,
up half
them.
my drive.
Them. They can play it. First of all,
right.
it's not so funny as it is long. The crepitation contest. That is the longest build-up to a lame punchline of any joke in history. The crepitation contest. Why don't we play some old Man Cow Muller? At least those things were funny.
Man cow.
You know, yeah. Why don't you play the updog bit 5 times in a row? At least, that was funny the first time. The crepitation contest. I've never been so underwhelmed by a comedy bit in my life.
Yeah.
The first time I
We
heard
could
that.
go through the
Well,
worst
it was-
of all time if you want to.
Oh, we could just talk about them and not
Yeah.
play them.
Butterfly
How's that?
Kisses. That was another issue. I hated that
Oh,
I don't know why. He must have played it to go on a pee break or
bit
something. 'cause it
makes
was
my
just-
teeth hurt. I feel like I'm getting fillings drilled.
Ugh.
The Butterfly Kisses bit.
And the Facebook page got busted for playing it on YouTube, which is a good thing. Thank you, YouTube, for not letting them play that song. Oh, God.
Woo! By the way, you can put anything on YouTube. You just have to acknowledge the third-party content.
Oh, yeah,
Just click that acknowledge button. They'll send them their shekels.
I'll tell you what the ultimate
Everybody's
compliment
happy.
is,
It's got a built-in monetization system.
They played some of my stuff on there, got busted because it sounded too close. I was
Oh,
like,
yeah?
hey, thanks. I did
You-
good.
you set off a tag sensor?
That's what I did. That was a compliment.
Sure. The difference is your stuff is way better produced. The production quality of the Boca Brian bits is second to
Well,
nothing
it
in the universe.
became that
That's
way.
what I
It
told.
evolved.
That's what I told Mark when I was explaining Boca Brian. I said, "This is the most batshit crazy individual you'll ever meet in your life, and no one in human history has come close to her talent with regards to writing and production and performance of comic satire."
Well, thank you very much.
Audio,
What he said,
audio
yeah.
satire. A peerless individual when it comes to comic satire.
I accept that as a token of your esteem.
That's right.
Thank you.
It ought to be
And
kept in a little
20%.
box like
I know.
Rumpelstiltskin, producing all of that, and then don't let her out of the box unless you put her in a straitjacket. Oh, sorry,
But it didn't start out that way.
No,
I mean,
no.
some of the stuff I pulled out of my box is that
Sure.
remember what I had.
Right.
I had a 4-track cassette mastering
Yeah.
thing. A $50 Jim Schuyler keyboard and a guitar and that was that.
I remember.
So-
Didn't you have like a Casio keyboard with a cassette deck built into it? And that's how you had to master it onto that, or was that a dream I had? Didn't your original bits? Didn't you do it on a Casio keyboard with the built-in cassette recorder?
No,
Like
no.
little.
The keyboard was like the $50 thing that you'd buy your children.
Okay,
you know,
yes.
your toddlers.
Yes, my
it was one of
daughter did
those.
her time.
And the mixer was a Akai 4-track cassette, which I don't even think you can get those anymore.
No, Akai. It was an Akai.
By the way, one thing I want to mention, here's a tech inside.
They love that.
And I'm not going to play the bit. We play it enough, but the Ebonics game.
Yes.
Brian Campbell, by the way, he helped me mix that on, get this, an Akai 4-track DAT.
Oh, my goodness.
Won't see them no more.
What's DAT?
Wow.
Yeah, no, state of the art.
You still have a DAT player somewhere in your
I got
studio,
DAT.
don't you? Look,
I got this and DAT.
Look up here. Look what DAT is. Look what that is.
cassette
Oh my God,
player.
a dual
It had-
DAT.
It's a dual deck dubbing
Thing is, when you hear the old stuff,
auto reverse. It's for making cassette copies. Remember, and they tried to make those illegal. Remember when the
Yeah.
dual
Oh,
cassette?
yeah.
They tried to make the
Yeah.
dual cassette decks illegal. Oh, we know what you're using those for. We know what you're using those for. We're suing the Sony. We're suing BASF.
Yeah.
Ah!
Yeah.
You remember the same thing happened when the very first VHS beta video recorders came out. The networks were going to sue everybody. They were
Yeah.
going to sue the makers of the machines, the
Buyers,
tape,
the users.
Oh yeah,
Right, the
Yeah.
people that the guys that worked in the iron mines because they were using
There you go,
ferrous
sure.
oxide
Yeah.
cassettes. Everybody,
Yeah.
you're all in on it.
Anybody that's magnetic, you're. Jeez.
They were
But
going
the biggest crook was CBS because they were really acknowledging it through the back door.
Oh yeah,
what's that?
CBS.
Sorry, I had
Don't
a
get me
backdoor
started
joke.
on
I'm
those
just gonna-
bastards. All right, I'm started. I like to watch Letterman on online on the CBS website, and now, oh, I'm sorry, but it's going to cost you now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no.
What the hell?
Piracy. Thank you. You know they shut down Pirate Bay.
Oh yeah.
Some of us have been members of members only sharing sites, as it says when my screen boots up. What is it? Member in good standing since 2006. I maintain my share ratio.
Very
Thank you very
good.
much. I'm not
Very
even going to tell you this. The site. I don't have any invites. So sorry for all of the rest of you amateur file sharers out there who don't know where to get your reruns of the 100 on the CW.
Jane the Virgin
hasn't impacted my life a lot. The site that I go to doesn't have porn in the margin, so I can actually go file sharing with my daughter in the room.
Yeah.
Because the Pirate Bay, it's got things in the margin.
Check this out on their
adult things.
It's the Two Broke Girls spinoff with Susan Boyle as conjoined twins.
Hit it.
Yeah.
But the reason I bring up the mixing is because I played these things back, and I'm like, God, it sounds terrible. It's so old. It must be moldy tape, or somehow the oxide came off.
Yeah.
And it turns out No, that's how it sounded new. it was that bad.
Yeah. Well, but it was AM.
I remember that stuff. It went from because you couldn't get a tight dub. This is original Boca Brian material. I had to get the cassette tape, dub it off onto a reel because the reel had instant start, then the cassette deck did not. So I had to dub it off onto a reel, and I would do it at really high speed so as not to lose any more of the audio quality as necessary. And then from reel, I would dub it onto a cart, and that's what we heard. And then, by the way. We're not done. Then when we went to DCS, when we went to the computer, everything was dubbed from the cart to the computer. And then because the DCS didn't interface with the new audio library that we went to eventually over at Paxson, and then from there over here, all of that stuff had to be dubbed in through the board, not digitally transferred. But dubbed audio-wise through the board, and then recorded with a digital recorder, and
that's where the DAT
and
tape
saved
came
as an MP3,
Yeah.
and saved as an MP3. Right.
Yeah. But you notice
It's a long road.
I can't find.
So, like
Yeah, go
what
ahead.
we're listening to right now, like all these great old bits that you're playing, are like 6th generation recordings.
No, this
from
is
the
the
original.
master. This is the one.
Oh, okay, those.
And it
but a lot
still
of these other
sucks.
ones, but
It
yeah,
still sounds bad.
6th generation, and the original was on a cassette deck. So
my favorite Neil drop that he used to play a lot, and it was lost at Paxson. I know you drive a blue Cougar, and I saw you eating lunch at Gerber's.
Yeah,
And
that's
I
got to be
can't
out there in
find-
the cyber world somewhere. One of the fans. Hey, you guys in the on the Facebook fan page, when you're done talking about Boca's pussy, can you see? Can you see if anybody has the Gerber's bit?
I saw you eating at
That was a good one, yeah.
Gerber's.
Yeah. Let's go back. Let's try to get the all-inclusive collection. And keep it going. I don't know if you heard the beginning of the show when I was thanking all of the wonderful people that have been there for me over the years, the support, including the people that pledged their support for me at the funeral. The memorial service, I should say.
I did hear that.
You hear that? Yeah, I wanted to express
Had me hilarious in the car.
my heartfelt thanks to all of the people who promised to be there for me.
Yes. Now I understand why everybody hates everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody hates everybody all the time.
Whether it was the Neil Rogers show or my marriage, you give it your all, you do everything that you're expected to do, and in the end, screw you, buddy. Oh, done with you. Got all squeezed every last drop of effort and service that I can from you. You're not good for anything anymore, so bye.
Are we talking about your wife again?
Handful of people that still are out there that support you. I applaud them because, hey.
Sure. And hey, John Baker, and thank you, because when I get the website, the George Rodriguez show site, because right now I'm just posting on SoFlo Radio, but when I get my personal RSS feed fixed, they normally link to that on the Neil Rogers Tribute site and Facebook page whenever I do new shows, because this is it. This is the continuation of all of that stuff. As much as everyone thought Neil was a god, nobody lives forever, and no show lasts forever. And these people all had to know that it was coming to an end. But we're keeping it going as best we can. Everything that I'm doing in the name of radio, that I feel is right, is what I learned from Neil. I learned a lot of wrong things from other people. I learned a lot of right things from Neil. One of these days, I'm going to start applying it, I think.
It's up to us to carry his olive oil.
Oh yeah, well,
and
I still carry it on my feet. I don't think it washes off.
Duff, if he'd only call in, he has Neil's board from that studio, and it still has
still has olive oil on it. I thought you were going to say Duff still has the bottle of olive oil.
So I heard you talking when I was walking in about when you should hold the tribute show.
On someone's birthday
Maybe we should
or
do
the
it today.
anniversary of their death.
I think you should have a tribute on their birthday.
Okay.
Okay.
Because that's a day that
That's a positive day.
it's a positive
Yeah.
day, and it's a positive show.
Right.
Even though I hate
then-
everybody, it's
and then
still
around,
a positive show.
Because I was thinking more since I even said that. We'll have the Neil Rogers tributes on his birthday and celebrate his birthday, and then around Christmas when we do the holiday show, we'll play some old Neil bits as a remembrance thing, and maybe light a scented candle.
Or if
Maybe
you really want
olive
to
oil scented
complicate
candle.
things, you can celebrate it on his market anniversary, which was in March, right? So then you
Right.
could have three.
You could have three.
Yeah, but again, I want to
Absolutely.
do one. I would like to do one good show a year rather than two watered down shows.
So my suggestion is hold it on his birthday. Much better than on the holiday.
All right.
People are
Fine.
thinking about too many things on the
No,
holiday. doing too many things. But on his birthday,
well, you see, there is one significant part of this, and that this is 4 years since. So
Yes.
that's what we were thinking,
right?
And if we go on his birthday, we could say this is the 115th birthday of Neil
No,
Rogers.
like next year,
that's
the
depressing too.
The 5-year anniversary of his death is when I'm going to have another, I think, all-star studded.
Yeah.
But that would be to do it right would be to do it on December 24th. And who really wants to listen to a depressing show?
I'm not going to be working on December 24th.
No one will tune in
and I
for
got to
that.
go to the
That's
Cuban
right.
Christmas party.
That's a 3-day affair.
Sure.
Okay, here's
especially
what
with
we
your
do.
family.
Absolutely. Got to do it in installments.
We make the birthday show fan intensive. We make the memorial show business intensive as far as people he worked with, people he knew, and all that.
And maybe we could get his former sponsors to sponsor that show.
We did once.
Yeah.
But
that would be nice. Oh, it's
Yeah.
cheesy. Nevertheless,
remember you're in Florida.
Hey,
right.
So, anyway, with that,
Pirates World, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to play another wonderful block over here.
No block. I want the mics open for this.
2 o'clock block.
Suds has been waiting for this for many years since he was on the
Okay.
air at IOD. So that's how long it's been since he's heard
All right.
this.
Just in time for the holidays. The video you've all been waiting for. Ironing with Suds. Yes, Suds Coleman, that wonderful, wacky sidekick on the Rick and Suds Show, takes you on a spectacular journey into the wondrous world of ironing.
Well, normally I find it easier to do the sleeves first. And then once they're done, you move on to the... Damn it! Stupid iron! Go to hell! You know, I always like using this nifty stuff. It's called starch. And you use it on your collars. You spray it on there like this. Damn it! Just make sure you don't point it at your eyes. And you know, by golly, it's always a good idea to clean up after you're done. Like putting your board safely away to the closet, thusly, and then...
Yes, it's Ironing with Suds.
Damn it! Go to hell!
To order your copy, call 1-800-WHAT?
Can I turn that
Yeah,
off?
and I've come a long ways with that, too. I now have a little, well, it's not really a cup holder. It's like an extension on the ironing board for my martini glass here and the bong right next to it.
Excellent.
So, yeah.
I noticed that that's a little... You get older, so you learn things about your own needs, so you make better choices.
Exactly.
Purchasing
Sure.
choices. I bought one of those folding chairs that folds flat and goes. You can. It goes in a little sleeve thing, and you kind of with a shoulder strap and everything. But it's only got a single cup holder in it.
Oh.
Obviously designed for someone who only drinks beer, doesn't have a bong in their other hand at the same time. Because I got the beer in one hand, is like, and then I got to like hold the bong between my knees while I open the beer and get it into the cozy and everything. They didn't think it through.
No,
you need a cup holder on each side.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Not to mention, and then of course,
2 girls,
and a cell phone or tablet holding bracket on a little telescoping
and
arm.
maybe
on
some
an armature
pouches on
over
the
there.
side, for chips. Yeah, sure.
Chips on one side, garbage on the other side.
Yeah.
I have to have a garbage bag receptacle somewhere near me just to keep things tidy. Because
I agree. Because ants.
Oh man, I've got ants. I mean, it's too cold right now. I think they're hibernating, but I got ants living in my walls. The day after my birthday party, I wake up in the morning. I go to use the bathroom. I feel something crawling around my feet.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to look down.
I want to look.
I don't want to look down. This is while I'm peeing. I might freak out. I look down. The whole floor is covered with ants, and what are they all radiating out from? A half-eaten chicken wing in the middle of the bathroom floor for my party the previous night.
I'll be darned.
Like somebody must have just
Somebody
used the
did
bathroom.
that.
Somebody took a chicken wing into the bathroom with them and like, okay, that was enough for me. And I just threw it right there in the middle of the floor.
With all due deference.
Half eaten, and I just looked down there and I went, at least it's not going to waste.
No.
The ants sure are digging this
I was
thing.
mentioning on Facebook the other night. I got there's a roach in the kitchen, and I've seen.
How big
him,
was it?
Pretty good size. Well, I mean, not giant.
Like half smoked, all the way smoked.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, go on
Never
with the
mind.
story.
Well, I was just saying that I never get him. I've seen him like twice in the last 3 months, and every time I want to whack him, because roaches are pretty
resilient.
They're pretty amazing critters,
Yes,
really, when you
yes,
stop
they
and
are.
think about it. So out of respect, I kind of hate to put the shoe down on them, but what I do is
you got to do it.
I imagine that it has a full head of hair, and then boom.
Was that a George joke?
Oh, sorry, George.
It's obviously
Henry.
he's not pretending that it's me because I don't have a full head of hair.
Of hair, yeah.
Right, either. I'm just going to hold this tom-tom in my hand. Are these... Oh, hey, which one goes on the left?
I don't know.
Brian.
Which one?
I think it needs
Snare
to be
on the
mic'd.
left.
No, snare's in the middle. Wait.
Snare's on the left. That's a tom. That's the bass drum. That's
Okay.
a tom.
Listen to this. This is the lower one. So this is the tom. This is the snare?
Yeah, that would be the snare.
On the left. All
You
right.
Can you adjust the?
It looks
the,
like
what?
it.
The skin? Are you kidding me, dude? I don't want to touch. Don't break it. It's made out of paper. All right. I have an oatmeal carton that's more resilient than this thing. This is just. So.
Let's go to break. 'Cause I got
The lower one goes on the right. Well, I've been waiting. I was watching you load
Well, I
stuff
don't
up. I
know.
wanted
I
to take
got
a
a
break a
wee-wee.
while back ago, and you made me keep
we-
the microphones on. It's 2:06 on Boca's Pussy Radio, SoFloRadio.com.
My name is Figaro, and I'd like you to know everywhere I go, I hear Neil Rogers Show. Oh, the Neil Rogers Show.
And now live from Rigel 7, it's the Neil Rogers Show.
I like the ease of this song for bit writing. Plenty of time like the American Pie thing. Melody guide so I don't sing off key. This is my favorite karaoke.
Yeah, I love the way that bit ended. The bits haven't been the same since Boca Brian died.
I know.
Yeah, I heard that was some party Greg Reed threw.
Yes.
Good thing I didn't go.
Lots of dancing.
Of course, it's not easy flying back there from Rigel 7.
I know.
Thank God.
Oh, God.
I'm here. It's all over for you poor schleps stuck on Earth.
Yes.
President Noel. Well, if you're lucky, that crackhead is the last Bush to rig an election. Who's on this line?
Mr. Rogers?
Speaking.
I was in the Publica Galactica today, sir, and let me tell you, the clip-out coupons in Thursday's paper are deceiving. I discovered to my shock
You know, this
dismay
is
at the
George.
checkout counter
Yes, I
that
know.
Redstones was not 2 for 99 cents. On the contrary,
Got 'em off.
it was 2 breakstones for 99 cents each. Now,
Oh.
I don't know about you.
That's right.
They tried to peddle me 2 breakstones for the price of 2 breakstones cottage cheese when the coupon clearly stated that...
Well, use the cottage cheese that's grown in your toenails. Now, who's this on line 7 and 9? Klingon Penal Colony, hello? Have we got into that?
Retired.
Okay, on that note, I gotta renegotiate my contract. How about a 1-minute show, huh?
Oh!
You can fill the other 3 minutes.
That's right.
Sporto Concubine is next. George?
Bye.
Neil Rogers, Mr. Rogers, Fat Rich, Sally Fitz, Gary Bruce, Rick and Suds, Sam Silver, Sonny Fox, Sonny Hirsch, Pope Paul, Hank Goldberg, Barney Frank, Bill Tanner, Pat Buchanan, Rick Sanchez, Paul Harvey, Bob Bauman, Joey Carr, Bob Coons, Pee Wee Herman, Abe Herfeld, Marvin Rahman, Lawton Childs, Henry Barrow, Nick Navarro, and Geraldo. Names on the list, hear the media shouting. Turn the radio louder. Maybe your name is on it. Oh, names on the list. Hear the media shouting. Turn the radio louder. Maybe your name is on it. Jerry Nims, Jim Noggle, Dave Game, Tom Chicka, Chuck Meyer, Oral Roberts, Marsha Mann, Alan Greenspan, Nikki Grossman, Bob Cox, Wally Cox, Don Sanders, Larry King, Mike Disney, Ann Bishop, Janet Reno, Robert Schuler, Jason Polis, Jerry Witchner, Did Bob Soper, Sally, Jesse, Raphael, and Dwight Lauderdale. Names on the list. Hear the media shouting. Turn the radio louder. Maybe your name is on it. Whoa, names on the list. Hear the media shouting. Turn the radio louder. Maybe your name is on it.
Did you hear the list? Listen.
Tom Roberts, Craig Worthing, Ellis Rubin, Bob Butterworth, Mary Lupo, Judge William Hubler, William Kennedy Smith.
Hello?
Randy, I don't hate you at all. Congratulations. I'm
Get
happy
out
for
of here, Meg.
You want to know something? Truthfully, I'm happy for you.
Why are you happy for me?
Because I am going to my boat. We're going out for a cruise. I'm having, for the 4.5 years, my first weekends off. I'm promoting my video, not a radio
Yeah.
show.
I figured it was some kind of promotion thing.
No, not at all. I'm just saying that I welcome you to the station. Honest to God, I do.
Really?
Trust me, I'm not lying.
All right.
I called to congratulate you. I was
Well,
going to
Meg, I just
congratulate you
can I
tomorrow.
just ask you one lousy question then?
Sure.
Why on your last show did you say I didn't have a chance in hell of doing anything over here at WIOD?
You know what? I made a mistake. I made a bad call.
Damn
I've
right.
been listening to you, and I think you're fun, and I think it's perfectly okay to relax and have fun on a weekend. Honest to God. I need it too.
Yeah.
How's that? And I'm enjoying listening to you, and it's no bull. Now, have a good day.
See ya. Don't believe a word of it, man. She sat here and trashed me for a whole afternoon. A whole afternoon sat here and said I didn't have a chance in hell. I had no talent. What the hell was I doing here? Boy, Gary made a big mistake. Now she wants to promote something at our tailgate party, so she's going to kiss a little butt.
On his hip, just above his knee, there's a bag where he can pee. Hey, how about that? Jeff Cohen's got a wee-wee bag. Tell you why. That bag's on his leg. Don't have to go running. You get to stay in one place. And that's not bad. Jeff Cohen's got a wee-wee bag. On a trip or at a show, you can take it wherever you go. It feels a bit funky, but you can't beat the luxury of instant relief. One of these days, it's gonna be the craze. The John ain't so jiffy when you can use your leg. It's a new fad. Jeff Cohen's got a wee-wee bag. Don't shake it left and don't shake it right. Remember to dump it at the end of the night. Now don't go jumping or dancing too. You gotta be careful not to spill
When Neil gets older, will he be there up in Toronto? Will he still be coming down to Paradise or live in both places at the same time? Will he be thinner or still be fat? Or will he adopt a cat? I don't think he'll want to move back to Florida when Neil's 69. Making a sandwich, schlepping around in his underwear. Syndicated worldwide on the satellite, or just still waiting for the Beasleys to die? Will he be spending most of his time plunging at Woodbine, keeping his time filled, rewriting his last will when Neil's 69? You think he's going to spend a lot of hot times in the town of Berlin, or is that too quick? He'll be an old gay Jew. Frankie Guile with olive oil in his shoe. Will he retire or be on the air on Sport Hole Radio? Will he win Lotto or marry young Paco when Neil's 69? Oi!
I prefer Stan Major.
I prefer Stan Major.
I prefer Stan Major.
I definitely prefer Stan Majors.
I prefer Stan Major.
I prefer Stan Major. I prefer Stan Major.
I prefer Stan Major.
I prefer Stan Major.
I personally don't.
There you have it. 9 out of 10 doctors prefer Stan Major over general anesthesia.
You know, the most chilling voice in that little montage over there was Gary Bruce,
yeah.
Boy Gary. I mean, the other people I've heard since then, more or less. But man, that unlocks some memories, some nightmares. Mark doesn't know those stories. I've been regaling Mark with the stories of the olden days.
Oh, boy.
But when I started, because we were talking about it at dinner, but here's what I...
Here he is here.
What it didn't say. Go ahead.
WIOD. Oh, I hate that station.
I prefer Stan Major.
Wasn't that
That was
Gary?
Don... No, that WIOD. Oh, I hate that station. That was Don Geronimo.
Oh, I thought
From
so
Don
that was
and
Boy
Mike.
Gary.
No, Boy Gary, although here's the Don Geronimo, Don and Mike story. Back in the olden days, and you would have appreciated this, Boy Gary and I, Gary Bruce, had love relationship. Those are the cycles that it went through. He hired me. He was the person that interviewed me and hired me, along with Yolanda Parapar, if you remember her. Was she there in the early Rick and Suds days?
I don't remember.
But Rick and Suds will attest to this. Boy Gary, one of the things that I admired about him was that he was active in looking for fresh talent like all the time, which is how Rick and Suds got there. And I had the honor, and I'm going to adjust the camera so that we can get the walrus in the shot here. I had the honor of... board opping the very first Rick and Suds fill-in show.
Wow!
On a Saturday when he was just test driving you guys, he would bring people in from the market and from other markets, and he would have them flown in and accommodated for the weekend, and he would put them on the air on the weekend when they wouldn't do very much damage. That's how Alex Bennett wound up on the station, as a matter of fact. So as the part-timer in those days, I got to sample the fresh talent first. I got to stick my finger in it and see what it tasted like. Now, nobody was further removed from what made a good talk show than yours truly, because I wasn't a talk show fan in those days. It was just a job. But I remember you guys, and it was fun. In those days, Rick was a fun guy. A cool guy, didn't have a giant ego, and he was cool, and you know, success was the first thing that ever happened to Rick Riley, because he started to taking himself and the show way too seriously, and that's when the show started sucking in the opinions of myself and other people, was when Rick wanted to start doing serious shit instead of, you know, shooting the station vehicle with the potato gun, building a sundae in somebody's pants. These are the reasons that people listen to the Rick and Suds show.
It was a reason to live.
Exactly, and it was, and it came to like a point where people would just start to really jones for when Suds would open up his mouth, because Suds, as the comedy anchor, would wait and say something funny, and more it just started to annoy Rick. And so, but anyway, back to Boy Gary. Gary would bring in fresh talent, and it was good. It was good that he was always exploring and nurturing the talent on that radio show. Don and Mike, who were popular in D.C., I believe, at the time.
Yeah. Yes.
Gary Bruce, they were being considered for a regular slot, like a weekday slot, and for a lot of money. And he flew up there to meet them, pitch going to WIOD, and as a gift, as a schmooze gift, as a here's what we got in South Florida present, he had flown from Joe's stone crabs, packed in dry ice.
Wow.
And the staff put them on plates and delivered them, and Don and Mike, they presented them to Don and Mike while Gary Bruce was in the control room. and they trashed the Stone Crabs. And they trashed Gary Bruce. And they trashed South Florida. And Gary Bruce did not unpack the paperwork. He did not unpack the proposal. He just smiled and nodded and left and got back on the plane, and that was the last anyone in South Florida would ever hear of Don and Mike, calling his child on the air after his divorce.
Exactly.
And saying, calling his child and saying, with mommy, and, crying about
I really liked Don and Mike on the old WGFK show up in D.C.
Yeah.
I used to listen online all the time. But I don't ever remember them coming down here and working.
I don't
on the
like
weekend,
people with that kind of a voice. Oh, WILD, I hate that. He sounds like a fag.
Yeah.
And I like fags, just not people that sound like fags. How's that?
I see.
On the radio, like I like Richard Simmons personally, but he's got that effeminate delivery, and I don't dig it. Like I don't mind Boca looking like a chick, just as long as he doesn't sound like one.
Yeah.
That brings me to my TSA story.
Back to your you have a TSA story?
Yes, I do. Now I know what TSA really means.
Yes, touch, stab, and asshole.
The tranny security.
I thought it was talk stupid asshole.
When I was going through the TSA checkpoint on my trip to Montana last year, the only thing that I could think of is, I wonder what fun they have with Boca.
It could be tuck asshole.
Because you put your arms in that scanner comes by, and I'm like, they're not going to see anything they don't expect to see here.
They love it when I go in that scanner.
I'll bet they do.
The smiles that I can create.
I'll bet.
When I went into, it was coming back, it was at the Westchester airport, and you have to give your license.
Westchester. In South Florida, we say Westchester.
Okay.
It's right next to Sweetwater.
Thank you for bringing me up to speed on that.
Okay.
So
you're at the Westchester airport.
I gave the first TSA agent my license and my ticket.
Yeah.
And she's looking puzzled. She keeps looking back and forth at me and at the thing. And it's like, normally I don't get that. And it's like, okay, go ahead. This one's like, so I said, is there a problem? And she said, quote, seems you and I have a lot in common. And she looked like a aging Rachel Maddow.
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
So I was in good company there, so I did fine. Now, getting back to what you were saying.
Yeah.
The Ron and Ron. I don't remember what you and Rick had a problem with Ron and Ron. But I custom made this for your show, and I don't remember why.
I don't know if I know.
Was there like a war between the listeners or something? Did they start one of those contrived listener wars or something?
You're asking me to remember something past yesterday? What the hell?
I'm sorry. Well, I'm trying to understand why I went through the trouble of making these bits.
I don't recall. Ron and Ron, there was another great show while they were in Tampa.
Yeah.
It was a
they lost
show.
a Ron when they moved down here. They
were both here
instrumental
for a while.
Ron. Oh, when they went on Zeta.
Yeah.
When they went on Zeta for that year, then they went off of Zeta, which was a funny thing. Zeta canceled them, if you remember. And then before the book came out, and the book came out, and they were number one in the morning by a mile.
Yeah.
But they had already fired him, and I think they hired
yeah, that's right. They were
Castronovo
over there,
at that time. That's who they replaced them with, or something.
That's
I don't
right.
know.
Well, for some reason, I did this one. That's very short.
Okay.
Right. Mike open.
I'm a Ron and Ron listener, as lonely as can be.
Hello, Ron and Ron listener. I'll bring you company. Hey, Ron and Ron listeners, would three be a crowd?
All you Ron and Ron listeners, scream out loud. We turn on Rick and Suds. Does that make us gay?
I don't know why I made that.
I don't know. That doesn't
I don't
make
know
any sense
either.
to any of us. Maybe somebody in the audience.
Oh,
has
maybe
a
we
better-
could call Rick. Oh, speaking of Rick, I almost said maybe we could call Rick. I found out the other day, he's living in Oregon now. And
what part?
In the Portland area.
Okay, because I have a niece there. My daughter's thinking
yeah.
of looking at
Well, he lives in suburban Portland there somewhere.
All right.
He was out in his
Nice.
front yard putting up Christmas decorations, and one of the neighborhood kids came by and tried to deflate him.
And as Suds always says,
Freckle face Fanny.
Oh boy,
So that'll get him a call if anything.
So, by the way, here my Gary Bruce story actually involves Suds. So I get hired. I'm a part-timer. I do a wonderful job. I fill in for everyone except for Marvin, and I refuse. And they finally have to threaten me with my job. This is for the Neil fans. This is a Neil Rogers, Gary Bruce, and Suds Coleman story. So
the enigmatic.
They what I heard, because I totally didn't get the show in those days, but what I heard from the other producers was that he was a mean man, and I would listen to the tapes on the weekend. I would have to play them back, and he was being mean to the producers, and he was being mean to Marvin, and he's mean to the listeners. And I thought, what a mean man. I don't want to work with this man. He's mean. Mean man. So Gary threatens me with my job because Marvin was being irresponsible those days. And if somebody knows what happened to Marvin, we think he's dead. Would love to know one way or another what happened to Marvin Rahman, although eventually he changed his name. Ajubin, by the way, my predecessor on the Neil Rogers show. Anyway, Neil wanted him fired because Marvin was showing up late or not at all. And
sometimes
Neil wanted him fired. So as is almost always the case when Neil has a conflict with management, he wins sort of. They fired him from his show and gave him a promotion. They gave Marvin a promotion. They made him your regular producer, Rick and Suds show regular producer. Not without reason. One of the reasons that Neil didn't like him is because he felt that he was dividing his attention between his show and the Rick and Suds show, and he was enjoying his time on the Rick and Suds show much more. And the Rick and Suds show followed the Neil Rogers show, so Marvin was busy during the Neil Rogers show getting ready for what was going to be happening on the Rick and Suds show, like what shenanigans, what man on the street, or idiot on the corner, or payphone challenge. Marvin was always busy on the phone. He was on the side phone, not paying any attention to the Neil Rogers show when he would bother to show up. So Neil wanted him fired. Instead, they made him the assistant program director and the permanent producer of the Rick and Suds show. But that was after my tryout, my day that turned into a week, that turned into a month, and then at the end of the month, they offered me the job forever for $11,000 a year.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
You were making more than I was.
Yeah, I know, in those days.
Wow.
So in those days, Gary Bruce loved me, but almost immediately, within another month after that, and here I am doing a stellar job, perfect production, perfect everything, and the situation of Neil eating on the air was going on way before I even came back to South Florida. Neil and I were hired about the same time, but the year that I was part-timing was his first year there, and we interacted like not at all. I think one time I needed to record him do a call-in from an appearance. The call-in, hey, we're here at the A&T store, and and I just had to run the tape while he called in, and then card it up and play it periodically throughout the day. I think I had one conversation with Neil in our mutual first year there at WIOD. But now here I am doing an incredible job, but Neil is getting food brought in from various restaurants. And you remember the architecture of the building. The people didn't have to go through the control room to get to the talk studio. It was not unlike this. You go into a main door, and then you got the control room is one door, the talk studio is another door. I don't have the ability to block traffic from the control room. I would have to leave my seat, go outside the control room, and then get in the hallway and say, hey, don't come anywhere, the food's here. So Gary Bruce is trying to get me to stop the food from coming in, and he wouldn't answer me when I asked him, how exactly am I supposed to do that? Because I don't even know when it's coming in half the time. Well, he announces it. Well, sometimes, sometimes it just shows up.
Oh, yeah.
Well, don't, and I said, why can't you tell the receptionist not to let the food in? Well, the receptionist doesn't know who the food is there for. And it's like, but the receptionist has to buzz people through the door. She can ask. And I'm like, don't tell me how to do that. He's yelling at me. And so anyway, Neil keeps getting food in, and I keep being powerless to stop it. And Gary Bruce, finally, this is, and I think you were there then. Neil gets food in, and Gary Bruce comes into the control room and starts yelling at me right there in front of Neil during a segment. Neil goes to a commercial break. He's yelling, if you don't take control of this show, I'm going to put somebody in here who can. If you can't take control of this show, I'm going to put somebody in here who can. In other words, if I can't control what Neil does, if I can't, at $5 an hour, control what Neil does, I'm going to get somebody in there who can. To be continued, remind me, bookmark that, because this might be the long-anticipated Duff call that we've been waiting for. Hello, SoFlo Radio.
Hello there.
Is this Duff?
It's George. It's George. Yeah, I was going to say, no, it's George.
Yeah, no, this is George.
Jorge to you.
Sure, you can call me that. Duff Lindsay, ladies and gentlemen. I was ready for you. I got a picture to put up on the video while you're talking.
Oh, my God! Can I? I'm going to have to go look at this now.
You're going to have to go look. Mark the time, 2:29. So an hour and 29 minutes into the video on YouTube, you're going to see yourself.
And you won't be happy.
I know we are,
How can I pull it up? I'm looking online. I want to make sure I can pull it up.
Well, if you just go to SoFloTelevision.com or SoFloRadio.com and hit the Watch Live button, it'll take you to SoFloTelevision.com. You can see the live video feed.
Wow.
That's a crotch shot. Well, it's the only Christmas picture that I could find, an individual Christmas picture of yourself, because this is the holiday season. I should probably be wearing a Christmas hat.
Don't you think so?
Yeah, well, it's
oh,
over here.
I just heard you. I can't do this now.
No,
I'm
you
like a
can't. You
chronic.
can't do it both. Oh, turn the radio off!
Really?
Turn the radio down.
You should know better.
Well, he was trying to see
Yeah,
the video of himself there. I switched it off. It's back to us. How you doing, Duff?
You know, I've been pretty good for, man who's getting up there now. But
Sure,
I'm
yeah.
good. Thank you.
I know all about it. Feel your pain. I'm
Well,
still
at least you're
spry.
getting up.
I'm still spry and springy. I still have some spring in my step.
For those who don't know in the audience,
You're
this
still
is the
got a few
embattled
years younger
program
than me,
director
buddy.
from WQA.
Yeah, this is Duff Lindsay, a program director that I always got along with, before, during, and after. I didn't have any ups and downs with Duff. It was always just up.
Even Neil got along with me, which is pretty amazing in the long run, although it took a little while to get there, don't you think?
You had a very difficult job, as did I, walking that fine line between Neil and management.
Yeah.
'Cause it was
there
tough.
were several messages that needed to be delivered that, he wasn't going to feel good about, but, at the end of the day, it all seemed to get done. It's
Yep.
so funny, after, later on, and when I started selling for the show, which was my dark period of being a salesperson, but we actually became pretty close. It was much better than me having to be the guy who goes in there and telling the
Right.
show was there today or something.
No, you could deliver good news, like, hey, I got a new client,
I
and here's
sold
some money
something.
and some stuff.
His remark, I would go in there and say, would you do a commercial for, I don't know, Joe's car dealer? And he'd say, anything for you, sweetheart. And I took advantage of it, of course, but I sure miss him. I think about him all the time. I moved, George, from had a condo in Fort Lauderdale for the longest time, 17 years, and finally sold it, and bought a place in Pompano Beach now. And
Better you than me.
I'm sorry?
I said, how's it going up there in Pompano Beach?
Oh, it's fine. Yeah, thanks. I'm on the 9th floor, and I can get every television station and radio station in the house.
What good does that
That's what
do?
you have to do.
As opposed to Fort Lauderdale Beach, where all I got was a great shot of the cruise ships going out.
A lot of tinfoil.
Yeah, you could
That's a whole
tune in the
different
Buick
story.
hour.
People come over to my apartment, they see tinfoil on the windows, they say, is that for the sun? And I go, no, that's for radio reception. That's my antenna.
Yeah.
That's my west-facing
Now
antenna.
you got a place for your 25-inch Admiral.
Yeah. I think I can get my current station, WWNN, I can get it on the telephone there since it's pretty, pretty close, 50,000 watts right there in Pompano. But anyway, I'm going through stuff, and, pictures fall out. I have so many pictures of our experiences together over there. And what fell out, just the last remaining one that either didn't make the donate box or safe until somebody after I die throws them out box, was a picture of, it was actually Neil's publicity picture. And I think it was from the Gulfstream event. Remember that Gulfstream
Yeah,
event?
that's the picture that I have here in the studio, which you should visit one of these days. Is the last public appearance that he made, and the last picture that he and I took together.
Is the picture of George and Neil?
Yeah.
Is that the one you got, Duff?
I'm pretty sure. I can't remember it now, but it had the 560 logo on it. It was really nicely done, and he signs it Love and Kisses Bluff.
We got to scan that in.
Yeah, you got a scanner? Well, you bring it when you visit the studio. You'll like my humble little enterprise over here. I know you're still a big shot on that terrestrial radio, but any minute now. I saw the story. There's a couple
but
of.
we're internet and online, and we do our own TV now too. So
I just saw that
everybody's gotten into everything, man. It's all multi-platform.
Clear Channel is divesting. I saw that they sold all their towers to a company. We sold our towers and now lease them back from the company we sold them to. Like that Monty Python bit.
Yeah.
They're leasing their towers back from the company they sold them to because they want out. They want out of terrestrial radio. They're now iHeartMedia. That's their new name, and they're promoting that, and they want everything. They want all of their products to be internet only very soon. Clear Channel. How do you like that?
Well, things are changing.
Yes, they are. Tell me about it.
I remember going to Epcot Center the first time ever, and way back in the day, and seeing those phones that you could see pictures on, a telephone that you could see the other person talking to you on, and I was like, yeah, well, this is very impractical, and it works here, but never going to happen. And now I can call you on the iPhone.
Yeah, and listen and watch the video.
FaceTime with you, and it's so funny. And I have it, and I'm thinking, oh, the greatest thing since sliced bread, but I never use it.
No?
Who wants to look at you when you're, when you're having a conversation?
I only FaceTime when I'm on the toilet. That stops it right there. That cures everybody.
Exactly
hey, FaceTime with me. I go, wait.
Kind of
and even if I don't have to go, I run into the bathroom and I'm like, okay, call me now.
On the other face.
It's funny. That's exactly where I imagined you would have been.
That's the only place where it's funny or interesting. As a matter of fact, I want to decorate the background of my bathroom so that it looks like I'm in a public bathroom. I want to put a lot of really obscene graffiti behind me, and just a lot
of holes in the wall.
The holes in the wall, some dick pictures hand drawn with a Sharpie. A little.
And for a good time called Boca.
That's on every men's room that I go to, especially in Tobacco Road. They're tearing it down now. What are they going to do with Boca's oldest bathroom graffiti?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's going away. Maybe we can carve out that section of the wall. Maybe we can before they tear it all down.
I hope they replace it with another glass and steel condo. There's not enough of those.
No, there's not enough. Florida's oldest liquor license. Who's going to get that now?
I got carried away in this four-letter word called work, so sorry I'm late calling it to the show. But
it's okay. Yeah, work. That's for suckers. Better you than me.
They are. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Yeah. Somebody's still got to do it.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm still doing it.
I know. I can't believe it either.
And the show too.
By the way, I want to. While I have you on the phone,
I'm still doing it. But what?
There are current events here at SoFlo Radio that tie in with you. One of our new shows, the Siren Says show, hosted by Siren Sandra, that's on Tuesdays 12 to 2 here, is hosted by DJ Siren, who's a karaoke DJ, or a KJ they call them.
Yeah.
He's going to have to change his name, a karaoke DJ. She's a wonderful singer and a wonderful karaoke hostess, but I want everyone in the studio and in the audience to know that the best karaoke performer that I've ever been in the presence of is Duff Lindsay, ladies and gentlemen. Duff is
he's got a hell of a good voice, yeah.
He's got a good voice and he knows how to use it.
Yeah.
Opera quality. I mean,
very good.
The first time that I heard you sing publicly at one of the Christmas parties with the piano accompaniment and everything, blown away. All right.
What do you do? Ballroom Blitz?
He did. I think he did the Christmas song. Was the first song I ever heard Duff sing. Duff is recording quality. He's like Clay Aikens in a lot of ways.
In a lot of ways. Except he's not running for anything.
Right.
Yeah, you could. If Duff ran for office, I'd vote for him.
Duff would run for orifice.
Sure.
Remember when I got Neil to play "It's Only Make Believe"?
Yes.
The song that Tommy Ferreira and I did.
Yeah.
In the production room over there, and people were walking by going, "What the hell is going on in there?"
Are you still running around
and it was
singing?
Me hitting those high notes.
That was the day Greg Reed said, "What am I paying you for?"
I think it was. Yeah. Well, he was right, but that's beside the point.
Are you still singing?
No, still in the car. Like I'll fire up to pop. I'm a big pop music crazy person.
Okay.
And so I'll put on whatever the latest hit is, and I'll try to hit the same notes. And I do love doing it. I don't know. I got a little old and stodgy here, and I don't go out that much anymore. And then when I would go out was when I would do the karaoke, because I've never been much of a drinker or anything like that, so I would go out for the fun of it. So it'd have to be some sort of a fun activity, either a place that I was going to score at, or more likely, sorry, the train's just pulling up, or more likely just to have fun, something place that had some sort of entertainment, somewhere you could stick dollars. Sounds like a good thing, and or karaoke. You still had to stick dollars somewhere for that one too. But
I guess
I used to love it. I did. And,
That's why I wear a garter.
And I really got good at it. And then I haven't done it in many years now, so I'm sure.
Oh, that's too bad. What a waste of talent.
I would sing like Mariah Carey did on her special.
I'll have to drag you to one of Siren Sandra's
Thursday nights at
DJ
American
event.
Rock Bar and Grill, right up the street from where he lives.
How do you like that?
Cool.
Not really right up the street.
Well, if he's in Pompano.
If you'll go, I'll go one of these days, just to hear you sing again.
So you got your choice of Tuesday
It would be
or
fun.
Thursday
We should
night.
do it.
Tuesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yeah, these are nice people. The Siren Says crowd.
Yeah, I'd like to get you behind that mic. That'd be fun.
When I was thinking about it,
I'd like to get you behind the chair.
And another thing,
George, the little board that Neil had in the studio.
Yes.
At QAM resides here down the hallway.
yeah, he has the olive
It
oil
was
board.
the production room board here for forever. And,
we call that board Olive.
Yeah. Yeah, it was well lubed.
Yeah, so was the floor. I had to warn people if they went in there, hey, can I use Neil's studio or something real quick? I said, watch your step. What do you mean? There's an oil slick on the mat.
When Neil went home, it was George with the mop like Carol Burnett at the end.
I had to spray everything. I'm not gonna touch any of the controls that had his foot oil all over them. He would rub the oil on his feet, and then he would work the controls. But by the way, Neil never wiped a hand. All right, on anything except the equipment. Whether it was olive oil on his feet or chicken wings that he was eating, he would just eat and work the equipment without wiping anything off. So of course I had to give the studio
what the log sheets
a
are
once
for.
over. Yeah, no, he didn't wipe his hands at all. He just used them. He just, what can I say? He was a slob that way.
Well, I tell you what, it worked because I never heard any static on the pots on that board.
Yeah,
so
well, I don't
something
think
was going right.
I think the only thing that was missing is he could have just worked the equipment with chicken wing bones.
So now, it's so funny. If I'd have really thought of it, I'd have taken a picture of it and sent it over to you for today's show. But it's sitting now in, let's see, how low can you go limbo? Because it has now been replaced by a full board from our stations in Las Vegas. So
we have a
but
little
it's just
memorial
sitting
show.
there, and it says, "Take me, Duff."
I was going to say, Duff. We have a memorial shelf here
if
for
I
him.
do get it, we can do a whole show down there on it. So
Yeah.
we'll just sit there and let the board speak to. I'll push a button and it'll go, "Oh!"
When no one's looking, tuck it under your thing and walk out with it. We'll put it on our memorial shelf here.
But anyway, life's pretty good nowadays. I must admit, you got to clear up some confusion because a lot of people, when they meet me, think that I was, the guy who did no or the guy who did oh or any of those, and I was neither, of course. But I did have one greatest hit on the Neil Rogers show, and it was SPORTS, right?
What?
Right? Do we have
You
that?
have the one.
It was
you still
what?
have the one that goes sports.
Oh.
You got to have it, George.
We're looking.
I'm not under Duff.
We have this one.
There's something wrong with our PD.
Don't play it. Can't
I'm looking
believe
for
I
it.
still associate with that person.
Wait, how about this one here? I'm going to play it just a piece. Okay.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Wait, hold on a second.
He said Todger. Todger? What does that mean?
I don't know.
All right, just calm down. Now, I'll call Joyce and get to the bottom of all of it. Oh, Dove.
Yes?
Do you have a quarter?
For what?
It's a pay cell phone.
Sure, here.
Oh, anyway.
No, I can't find it. I got everything, rolled off onto master files over here. I have to go through them and cut them up. I got like 30 minutes of stuff that I took just off of the 360 system and the DCS, and you know, I'm sure it's in there because
We got more files
I tried
here
to
in the
salvage
NSA.
everything. Would have been nicer if they'd let me buy that 360 system like I offered to. I offered Joe Bell retail value on the DCS on the 360s. Oh, we're not selling any equipment right now. Screw you, buddy. Die.
Can't you see my balls are falling off?
That's a horrible, tragic tale. Thank you so much for calling in, Duff, and we'll be in touch.
You're
I know,
welcome.
I know how to get a hold of you through Boca.
There you go. George, it's nice to talk to you, and good luck with the rest of the show. And,
Thank you.
And thank you for the invitation to come on.
You know it. You're a part of it.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Later.
See you, Duff.
Duff Lindsay, ladies and gentlemen. Are we really going to play this?
We don't have to.
We could. Why not? I'll
All
finish
right.
my Gary Bruce story.
We could
afterwards.
talk over it, you know, like any other
We could talk
online radio show.
The intro. Oh yeah. You know, it's called hotboxing.
I know,
In
we're
order
gonna
to
play here.
hotbox, I have to turn it up and down when I talk. It sounds like shit. They do it at the roller rink now. And they got
Here we
it
go.
on pirate radio. I'm not going to talk over it.
Poor PD, he was wondering why no one ever talks to me. He was spelling and scheduling, then he buried his head in his sleep.
We have a program director that cries. We have a program director that cries.
Our PD was asking, why won't anyone listen to me? And when we started laughing, he ran out of the studio hysterically.
We have a program director that cries. We have a program director that cries. We have a program director that cries.
George.
So back to the Gary Bruce story,
Yes.
because this has to do with Suds and how I wound up. I almost didn't last a year as Neil's producer because of Gary Bruce, because of the whole fire. So he's yelling at me. He's yelling at me right there in front of Neil because of the food. And he's gesturing to the studio, and there's right the giant plate glass window there, and all Neil can see is the profile. Like I'm just, trying to look at Neil and glancing over at Gary, trying to divide my attention. And Neil's, this is incredibly distracting when you're doing a live radio show. If I was looking through the window and the person that I'm supposed to be interacting with is getting yelled at while I'm trying to have a conversation with them over there. It can be a little bit distracting. So as soon as Gary leaves the studio, Neil goes into a commercial break and says, "What the hell was that about?" And I just said nothing. I just shake my head and said nothing. Because every time that you said something to Neil, he would immediately go on the air with it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And so nothing. So just nothing. He just, "George, what the fuck?" He goes, "This is through the intercom. George, what the fuck was that about?" I go, about the food. He's mad. I'm supposed to keep the food out of here, and if I can't take control of the show, if I can't, he's gonna, find somebody who can. So I guess I'm fired. I guess I'm gonna be fired. Because what am I gonna do? I mean, I don't even I don't want to. Like, first of all, I don't give a rat's ass.
You're fired.
And it was the same thing. Gary, and this was a thing that Gary did often. Like Neil would play drops over the newscast sometimes. Everybody remembers that. Neil would play drops over the newscast, and everyone thought it was really funny, and Gary didn't. So it was like, "Shut his part off during the news." So Gary would leave the studio, and I would say, "I'm supposed to shut your pot off during the news. So if you wonder why you can't hear any drops during the news, because I'm gonna have to shut your pot off because Gary told me to." And he was like, "What an asshole! Don't shut the pot off. I won't play drops." But then he would go on the air and say, well, you won't be hearing any drops from the news because Gary Bruce came in, and and the same thing here. And like Gary would yell at me, it's like, why did you tell him that I told you that? He goes, he's not going to think it was my idea. I'm in here while he's playing drops over the newscast. I'm in here laughing. Everybody's laughing. The audience is laughing. Jennifer Rem is coming in here laughing. Chuck Myers laughing. Everybody's laughing at that. You're the one that wants the news all serious and stodgy. It's not me. It's not going to believe that it came from me. You really want me to say, I'm turning your pot off, and when Neil asks me why he can't hear his drops over the news, I'm going to say, I don't think you should be playing those drops over the newscast because I'm making $5 an hour and I'm the boss of this show. Is that really what you're going to... So I was getting in trouble because I was telling Neil the truth, okay? Answering his questions honestly. And so after the commercial break, when Neil got me to tell him what Gary was all about, what was happening, why I was getting yelled at, he goes on the air and does a whole tirade on Gary Bruce, and how dare you come into my, why are you browbeating my producer? The food has nothing to do with him, boy. Gary, why don't you stay in there and mind your own business? One of the first things, and you might remember this, one of the first things that I remember, and it was right around the time that I got hired there, is Neil, and I guess because that was a new thing, there was a policy from the engineering department, no eating in the studios.
Yeah.
And Neil would eat in the studio. So Gary Bruce put out a memo. Remember the famous no eating in the studio memo? Mm-hmm. It became a comedy bit. Neil read the memo, the entire thing, with a mouthful of food.
I love that stuff.
He ordered extra food that day, and he read every word of the memo. Professional, bad radio. Remember that was the running line for years on end.
Oh yeah,
it's bad radio. So I was still part-timing around. I was still hitting the IDs for Larry King in the middle of the night, for Christ's sakes. I had nothing to do with that conflict. It totally predated me.
Oh, damn.
So anyway, Neil's doing this tirade, and in comes Gary. While Neil's doing the tirade, the door opens. Neil sees the door open, but Gary doesn't come all the way in. He just from behind the door he goes, I'll see you after the show.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. And Neil what was that? He goes, and I go on the air. This time he's on the air, and I go, he's going to see me after the show. He goes, he's going to see me after the show. I'm like, oh, like somebody drained all the blood from my body. I had a newborn baby at the time.
Yeah.
My ex and I, the wife at the time, we were sharing my car, my rusty Granada that I have a comedy bit about. The ex and I, we were sharing it at the time. Taking turns driving to work. Like I'd have to drive her to work, and she'd have to drive me to work, and then and this is whole big and we lived in Pembroke Pines, and the studio was on 79th Street Causeway, out in the middle of the water on an island. So it was a 45 minutes in good traffic schlep to get down there, and we're driving back and forth with the car seat and switching the car seat from the car to the station. Anyway, so after the show, Neil just goes stomping by, stomp. I go, he walks into the office, closes the door behind him, and I go sit in the chair outside, like at the principal's office. You know how you have the waiting chairs waiting to go get paddled? So I'm sitting in the chair, and I can just hear yelling. They're both yelling, but mostly Neil's yelling. You fucking coward. Who the you fucking pussy. What? Why are you browbeating the producer? What the fuck does he have to do with it? And I can't make out half of it. They're yelling over each other. What am I going to do? See the station policy. Why the fuck are you talking to him about it for? You're fucking, finally you went through every fucking producer in this place over here. You finally get one that fucking knows what they're doing, and you're going to fire him over the fucking phone. It's got nothing to do with it.
And he goes in the air and goes, 108 on WYOD.
Yelling. Finally it calms down, and I can't hear anything. I can just hear that, murmur. I can't make out anything that's being said. And I'm like, oh, God. So anyway, Neil walks out. He's got his stuff under his arm, his newspaper under his arm, and he walks out. He doesn't even look at me. He just goes, your turn, and off he goes.
Neil always hated the break into the show on IOD. If there was some minor news event, and it was usually the shuttle landings. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah,
he hated. He hated the shuttle landing. So one of the funniest times he used to drop.
There goes the chute. Deploying the parachute.
That's what it was. I was listening.
Yeah. And now it is about to touch ground. This is what you heard. Is about to touch down. The wheel has touched down.
From Houston, Texas.
Neil just kept playing throughout the show.
So anyway, back to the Gary Bruce story. So I go in there and Gary goes, first of all, I want to apologize. Like, what? That was the first time I noticed exactly how powerful Neil was. 'Cause I want to apologize. It was wrong for me to put you in the position. It's a very untenable position where you're going to, I'm not going to be putting you in that position anymore. And we had a nice talk about Neil. You're a very good producer. Don't want to I love it. Very, very nice. And, and I just want you to understand the feeling there. Where I was coming from, I think very nice. Immediately the next day, new job descriptions were added to my job. Immediately the next day. All of a sudden, I had to pull double shifts. All of a sudden, I had to be the fill-in producer for the Rick and Suds show. All of a sudden, I had to do a weekend shift. All of a sudden, I had to board op sports talk remotes in the evening at Dolphin Stadium, at this bar, at that bar, at this sports bar. All of a sudden, because I was salaried. And nobody was even allowed to say the word overtime in those days. Like now, Florida, right? The work state. Florida. I was salaried, and so all of a sudden, my, the Neil Rogers show, the show itself was 20 hours. I was there like 8 in the morning, so it was like a 30 to 40 hour work week for me. It immediately changed to 60 minimum work week, 60 to 80 hour work week, for which I was not getting any more money. And it was all these shit jobs, always these shit producer jobs, like the kind that you would give to the part-timers, like board hopping. That's how, by the way, I got to work with all the sports talk people in my first year as a part-timer. I got to work with, Joe Zagacki and Sonny Hirsch and Hank Goldberg and Jim Mandich and all these people way before I worked with Neil. But now, even after I'm Neil's producer, I'm working all these other people's shows, including a weekend shift. And I'm and I have to be Rick Weaver's producer. Let me say something about Rick Weaver. A gentleman... through and through. On time, hit the posts, didn't argue. You come in, we're playing this, and then you come in. Bam, bam, bam. In when he was supposed to be, out when he was supposed to be. On the money, never flubbing, never blinking, never batting an eyelash. A gentleman, polite to the producer, polite to the staff, polite to the janitors, polite to the people, the promotions people, hanging up the thing.
Unless you sit in his chair.
Oh, God! Why wouldn't on
then
earth
they got
would you want to sit?
rappy-cacked.
Not without putting plastic down. I wouldn't sit in his chair.
Oh, man.
So he might have had an ego, and very similar things when people like Neil and people like Rick, when they achieve a certain level of success and notoriety, they expect quality from the people around them, and they don't want to fuck around. And if if the people around them are up to their standards, you're fine. And if you're not, if you're a faker, then they're going to rip you an ass. So Gary Bruce started marauding me. Gary Bruce started making my life difficult, second-guessing everything, trying to replace me with Roger, if you remember those days. Trying to replace me with Roger, and Gary Bruce and Roger were conspiring to give Roger both the Mike Ranieri show and my show, and Neil said, never going to happen. Never, not in a million years. Get out of here. Roger would narc me out. Anything that I did wrong, Roger would go and report to Gary Bruce, and then Gary Bruce would call me in afterwards and chew me an ass. This went on for I don't know how many years, and I was going to quit. Within that first month when it was horrible, I was going to quit. But somebody, a wise man, told me, if you can just outlast the assholes. And that wise man was Suds Coleman, and look at him now.
Yeah. Look at me now.
I was telling Suds and Neil and everything. I said, I don't know if I can take this. I'm thinking of quitting. And Suds talked me out of it. He said, if you just outlast the assholes. I've been at radio stations where I didn't think that I could stand to be there, and the boss and the program director, whoever the hell it was an asshole. And I thought about quitting, but I didn't quit. And I'm glad I didn't quit because they got fired instead. And everything turned out to be great. So if you can just outlast the assholes,
that's sage advice in any profession.
And so I did. And what do you know?
Like Ebola.
Gary. And by the way, I took all of Gary's shit. I did everything that he expected me to do. I took all the shit. And right around the time that he came around and laid off and just took all the extra duties away from me and let me be Neil's producer and everything, he got fired. And management hired me to go through all of the Neil tapes and extract any time that Gary was on Neil's show as a character, or any time that Neil talked about Gary as a character, to prove that he was a public figure, because Gary Bruce sued the radio station over comments that Neil made when he read a Tom Jicka article, if you remember that.
Yes.
So Gary Bruce
Yes,
sued Tom Jicka, the Sun Sentinel, WIOD, and Neil Rogers personally. And the defense by the corporate lawyers is, this is a corporate figure and you're allowed to state your opinion about this person on the air. The evidence was the transcripts and the tapes that I had to listen to,
Yeah.
the transcripts that I made in my bedroom while listening to all of the tapes and transcribing everything that was said, was the mountain of evidence. The judge took one look at the transcripts and said, "Do you deny that these are genuine?" to Gary Bruce's lawyers, and no, we do not. He's a public figure, case dismissed.
Bye
Boom.
bye. Bye bye.
So you see how karma works? Are you
Thank
playing
you,
some out
Judge
music?
Judy.
Because I think we're getting close to the
Yeah, sadly,
to
it's
the post over
come to
here.
the
It
end of
has
this
60
show.
seconds to go. This just
Oh my God!
flew right
Really
by.
was fun.
Time flies when you play long ass bits.
Wow.
Yes, it does. Coming up at 4 o'clock, we have Gnarly Charlie's Totally Outrum Retro Party Hour, followed by This Is the Spot with Jack T. Frost.
Don't forget Rick Shaw Tuesdays.
Yeah, why are you saying that?
You
You're getting
said
everybody
Rick
all
Shaw.
excited. I said Rick's show
Oh,
on the radio with Rick Santees, who starred in that Martian movie with the sausages and the monkey.
that's Duke
Okay.
Mantee.
Don't forget on Saturday night.
Your favorite new show.
The Kingdom of God Hour. I don't want to talk over
My
Kelsey
favorite.
Grammer. Saturday at 4
I have
o'clock,
my
it's
dates
Immaculate
played out on the
Expressions. At
radio.
6 o'clock, it's the SoFlo Music Show. Gnarly Charlie replays twice on Saturday, by the way. But catch him first at 4 o'clock here on SoFloRadio.com. Don't forget Siren Sandra on Tuesday.
Good night, folks.
Steve Gordon on Mondays.
Don't forget clean underwear.
Bruce Silverman on Monday night.
Bye, bye, bye.
Powwow.
This
Live from the
is
studio
the South
tomorrow night.
Florida Radio Network.